Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Blitzball Champ Gaming. I am your host, your MC, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. And tonight, we have a very special broadcast for each and every one of y'all awesome gamers out there from all over the world. Tonight, with my really awesome friends, brothers, all of the above, we are going to preview each of the categories and the nominees for the Game Awards 2024 that will be taking place on December 12th, which will be here quicker than you think. But before we dive in, allow me to introduce my special guests for the evening. First off, to the upper left, a pretty big Pokemon fan, as you will know by his name. Here's Snorlax and Grooves. What's up?
Hi. I don't know what to do with my hands, so hi. Um, thank you.
Direct your attention to right below my window. This is somebody that definitely never fails to entertain and drives a mean motorcycle.
Huh.
Say hello to JJK. What's going on, bro?
Hey guys, do ride a motorcycle.
What brand?
Kawasaki Ninja.
That's how y'all know he has good taste.
Be safe out there.
And then to the lower left, this guy, whew, man, I could go into hours and hours of details of funny stories, but not only is he a gamer, but he's also a very well known, or at least hoping to make his comeback, DJ. Say hello to Ruger. What's up, bro?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, glad to be here. Talk about the nominations on the Blitzball cast, Blitzball show. Should be good. Yeah. We all most of us in here are old except for JJK and have like been playing games for a long time and been keeping up with them, working with them, all that good stuff. So should be good. And then I'm also interested to see what the youth thinks. What's hip? Why do you like these games that just are randomized, and why do you like these gotcha pulls, and why do you like these esports? You know what I mean? So
Oh man.
Yeah, there's quite a variety indeed. And gaming is definitely something that has brought us all together. I mean, we definitely, have that mutual interest and we each bring quite a variety to the table, which makes this even more exciting. So, anybody else have any opening statements before we dive in?
yeah, no, yeah, it is interesting. The Game Awards themselves are an interesting like anomaly, and I can't believe it's been what, like 10 years already now. But like the Game Awards, since they're not part of traditional like magazine press, they're not part of like internet press. You know what I mean? And they've been kind of doing their own thing, and so I just think it's interesting to with the Game Awards because it's like you know you see the nominations. It's like you can have your opinion of what you would like to win, but it's always interesting to think what will they pick, just because they don't tend to always go with like the consensus of the traditional press and things like that, or the consensus of like your people or what you read and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting, and that'll be I think it'll be interesting to discuss a lot of these categories in that lens. So
Indeed,
uh,
indeed.
I'll mention that a lot, at least. Like, on one hand, this is what I would like to win, but I think they're going to give it to this, and we could definitely talk about historic and stuff. If we can reference what they've done in the past and stuff like that. So
JJK, what you got?
Final Fantasy is the best game, and it's gonna win, guys.
yeah, well, it has the most Tifa.
Yeah,
I believe that is a
the most
category.
Tifa, the
Yeah.
most Ares.
Yeah, and then whatever category Stellar Blades in is also going to be like
Oh, I hope that's a different category that we can talk about later.
Oh yeah, because that's on
Offline.
there quite a bit
Oh
too.
man.
I'm just saying, like, I get distracted.
Am I
At,
playing
at
the
least
game or am I playing?
at least he's honest
What
about it. Snorlax and Grooves, what about you?
Honestly, I really am hoping that the surprise kid family friendly addictive platformer that has taken over the household here, an Astrobot. I think it's really going to shine a lot more than people are expecting it to because
Yeah.
it, although it's one of the highest rated or highest nominated titles, it was only on one platform, and to have all those nominations is absolutely a incredible feat by itself for a solo platform title against so many others.
Mhm.
And I am also I'm in the camp of downloadable contents and add-ons should not be game of the year material
Ah, yes. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
remakes.
Well, yeah. I think worth mentioning that. Yeah, because I mean, it seems like that like if there were a handful more of big remakes and stuff like that, or if there were more game expansions, they would have spun up another category. That's just that's
Yeah.
what people are saying. And then, but since there aren't, I guess that's why they're trying to like establish that rule. Or to me, it feels like a rollback. You know what I mean?
Hmm,
They
interesting.
I think they used to say something that like they weren't going to do that, but they just recently changed the statement on their official rules and stuff. So
Yeah, it's thanks to a certain Final Fantasy remake that came out that were like, we must dominate.
no,
So
I think it's for Erd Tree. I think it's for Erd Tree and
no, I agree with you on
the
Nerd
moated
Yeah,
moated tree.
yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Shadow of the moated tree.
Hmm.
And then and we'll get into it. Yeah, I do wonder if that's going to win anything, just because since they did change that rule or made that rule, I wonder if that means that that's going to win something. You know what I mean? But anyway, we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good call on that. Um, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Just a reminder, the Game Awards will be on December 12th at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, California, which I believe they did that last year at the same venue, if I remember correctly. And I believe 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe is when they're going to kick that off. But let's go ahead and dive into the categories. Um, Snorlax and Grooves. Thank you. All right. So we got quite a handful to go through, but we're going to kick this off starting out with some esports categories. First off, best esports team.
Yeah. Does JJK have any thoughts here?
Oh, I love sports. No. For me, I've been following the T1 League of Legends team.
Yeah.
They just
Okay.
won I believe
Wow.
their fifth
No,
like Worlds or something.
and
Yeah,
looking at all
against
the
Faker.
pictures, at least yeah, Billy Gaming, Gen G, T1 all look like younger than you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. They have so
But
much talent and so
but but
much.
but Navi and Team Liquid look like there's like look like elderly, at least for esports,
Yes.
elderly Caucasian dudes. So that's different.
Now, Jason, you got input on, or I'm sorry, Blitzball Champ, do you have input on this?
By the way, I go by either. To run it down, the description says best esports team recognizing a specific esports team, Billy Gaming, Gen G, T1. You
Mhm.
got Navi for Counter Strike and Team Liquid for Dota 2. I know me personally, I'm familiar with Team Liquid, but mainly for fighting games. But
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, I'm not surprised to see multiple teams for League of Legends specifically. I still feel like that's one of the top esports games played. Um, but I can't really say that there's a team
Yeah.
that stands out. I mean, JJK, definitely,
You
you
won.
know, seems to have more input on that. But very interesting to see three teams represented specifically for League of Legends.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just from the wording, what I think, because there's some other categories I think are like this too, but I think what they're looking for here is like, were there any like stories throughout the year about them either doing something notable in the games or performance or winnings, or they did something like whatever
Right.
did something notable for like a cause or something like that. And I think if we don't know, you know what I'm saying, but I guess if we did look up these teams and then saw if they did have any like stories like that throughout the year, I think if somebody has a few notable stories, I think that's what they would be looking for in this category. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
as opposed to just being like whatever most teabagging team. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Navi.
Yeah.
Let's go.
wow.
I'm just
But
saying because
well, I'm definitely
because
going, along the lines of JJK, T1 with their dominant performance recently in Worlds. Um,
see, so Snorlax knows he watches
I am a nerd.
esports.
Yes. But yeah, no, I mean Billy Games had a good comeback mid-season, so it's good to see them on here as a nomination. But I really think T1 with their dominant performance, which is also going to lead us into our next category as well. Um, yeah, I definitely
Go
think
for it.
T1 will probably end up winning this category.
Okay.
Yeah.
100%. I
Yeah, I
feel
mean,
like
I'll
they're
just,
gonna
I'll
win.
just I'll agree with you or the whatever consensus. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Any other notes on this category?
No Valorant.
All right.
No,
Oh
no,
yeah,
no.
Um,
It's yeah, it's two MOBAs versus an old school,
I
shoot.
know, but yeah, Counter Strike has. I mean, a lot of people have been playing Counter Strike too, though.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So that's definitely still doing really well.
so we're gonna switch gears. Next up, best esports athlete. So we go from teams to athletes.
See
Um,
it. Faker, there it is.
Yep.
so got quite an interesting lineup here. So best esports athlete. The esports athlete judged to be the most outstanding for performance and conduct in 2024,
Hmm.
irrespective of the game. Your nominees from left to right. Um, 33. Nita Shapira. Please forgive me if I butcher these names.
Oh my god.
Um, Alex Sib, Alexei Virilanin. Chovy. Not going to try to pronounce that. Faker, a familiar
Mhm,
name.
mhm.
Zaiwu, and ZMJJKK.
Oh,
Um,
how dare he? I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
speaking of which,
KK. Wow.
the only athlete I'm familiar with is Faker out of this
Mhm.
whole list, but I don't have much more than that. JJK, we're gonna go to you to start this off.
Go. Well, my uh biased is of course Faker
Yeah.
because the way he's been like performing in the game and just taking it to the next level and just you alone knowing his name, it just tells me that that's how much of an impact he has.
Yeah. What does he
And
play?
League of
League of
Legends.
Legends.
League.
The
Yeah.
team we just voted on,
Yeah.
he's the team captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Mhm,
that's that's
mhm.
T1's main guy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But Alex Sib, he's also the Counter Strike guy. Very good at the
Mhm.
game. I can't play like him, but also a very popular popular guy. But my vote's to Faker.
Okay. Rug, you got anything?
No. Yeah. Again, I'm just gonna agree with whatever,
Oh,
uh, with wherever it lands. You know what I mean? And try to plus one the Snorlax ticket. You know what I mean?
Snorlax and
that's just
Grooves. What you
Yeah.
got?
All right. So I'm also going to go with Faker. I think he's been dominant. I mean, his performance in multiple games throughout the season. He's also his solo play. He's fun to watch. But yeah, I really think this is Faker's category 2 lose. Um, but that's, I mean, if it were going to be just something out of the blue not to say Faker, I would have to go Zywoo. But that's just me. But I definitely just think Faker's going to run away with this without a problem.
Yeah, I mean, does he also have the good conduct and whatnot? Is the
Mhm.
Oh yeah, he also he gives a lot of his winnings from
Yeah.
the games to charities
Yep.
because he
Oh.
makes his money from sponsorships. So
Mhm.
everything he
Oh.
wins, he just gives it away. So very nice guy, very nice guy.
Good to know. Hey, nothing wrong with donations to charities. Hey, that goes a long way. Indeed. All right. Anything else?
That's it for me.
All righty. So to close out the esports categories, we're gonna finish off with best esports game. Uh, Best esports game for the game that has delivered the best overall esports experience to players, inclusive of tournaments, community support, and content updates, irrespective of genre or platform. Your nominees: Counter Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and Valorant. Snorlax and Grooves, we're going to start off with you on this one.
First of all, I want to point out 2 Riot games are on here. And the first mention of Valorant, which is really surprising that we didn't have any others before. Um, Although best esports game and best toxic game of all time, we're gonna go with League of Legends.
Ooh.
The community is recently with the Arcana anime finishing
Oh
Yeah.
had a
yes.
gigantic spike
Yeah.
in new players coming to League of Legends, only to get devastated and crushed by the "What are you doing here? Please go die"
Oh,
community. So
could be me.
yeah, the community is great. If you want a great community with a game that's not as popular as League of Legends, Dota 2, but League of Legends is going to League of Legends will probably win this, but don't be surprised if a year from now Valorant takes its spot.
Okay. Interesting breakdown. JJK, what you got?
I'm kind of on the same boat with League, but my runner-up will probably be Counter-Strike, just because of all the history it has behind it. I have no idea what Mobile Legends Bang Bang is. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't. I
It's
mean,
a
I'm pretty
mobile
sure.
MOBA.
Yeah, mobile
Nice.
MOBA.
Nice name, nice picture. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I'll attempt it after that. That image. But
Is the title what you do in the game?
oh, he said
Wow.
part two. You know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. My vote's the same. League of Legends for probably number one, and then the runner-up is probably Counter Strike 2 for me.
Ruger?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with this sentiment. I could definitely see League getting picked to, winning it just because of, and they have other categories about this stuff, but with how big the show was and all that stuff. I actually don't know what, Dota and League and Bang Bang and Valorant and all that stuff are trying to or I don't know what they've been doing to you know update and keep things fresh and stuff like that. But I know Counter Strike 2 though has been I've been reading about Counter Strike 2 and that seems to be just doing really well with the new version and then they're like slowly bringing back old maps and old stuff and everything and that seems to be doing really well. So I mean personally I would vote for Counter Strike 2. That seems to be what's bubbled up the most to me personally, even though I don't really play these games or
Great game.
keep up that much. But I could see League winning it though. You know what I mean? I could see the panel of Jeffs or whatever the Jeff panel, you know, picking League, the Hollywood panel picking League or whatever. But
So, what I find really interesting is this is one of the first times, or at least to my memory, that Overwatch is not a
mm,
nominee.
yeah,
Oh
Um,
man.
yeah,
a lot, and the thing is, the Overwatch League, which is no longer a thing, um, had been around for almost just as long as these games, and I just find it kind of weird not seeing it on that list, but for understandable reasons. And I've only played Counter Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends out of this list. I've heard good things about Valorant, which
Yeah.
can now play on PS5, which
Oh, really? I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. I haven't played it yet, but I have it queued up because I've been kind of wanting to see what the hype is about. But and I was never really good at League of Legends or anything like that. Shout out to Visceral Motions and his crew. They're big onto League of Legends. And Dota 2 I played back when I was with Ticketmaster Mobile Studio. That was when I got my first look at Dota 2, and yeah, I definitely felt like it was kind of simpler to, actually play versus League of Legends.
Mm.
But if you ask me, if I had to pick one, Counter Strike 2.
Mhm.
I just ever since I first got into Counter Strike, which was actually back when I was at Epic, that was when I got my first taste of the first Counter Strike. Um, but yeah, I value Counter Strike 2 quite a bit, so that's really what would get the vote for me. Shout out to Chernobog70. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you.
Sure.
Um, does anybody else have any other thoughts on this category?
Mm.
I agree with
Yeah,
you.
we'll
Like
see. Yeah. Yeah.
that mobile bang 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 thing versus Overwatch 2, like that's crazy.
Well, mobile MOBAs are on the rise. There are a lot of them out there right now, and they're really popular. Some of them do have championships, especially the Korean ones. So you're seeing a lot of popularity in those. So it's kind of surprising, but at the same token, maybe not so surprising. But I'm very curious to see will they last. I mean, the League of Legends is one of the old, like
Hmm.
super old, as is Dota 2.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But two Riots, two Valves, and then a mobile game. It's fun to see.
It's quite a lineup. Um, shall we proceed?
Hmm.
All right,
Mm,
and my apologies. Oh yeah, this is the one that I could just skip. But yeah, go ahead, Jason. Or,
Oh,
Roosevelt.
at least he's being honest. So next up, we have Content Creator of the Year. This award goes to for a streamer or content creator who has made an important and positive impact on the community in 2024. Nominees are Casio. I don't know if I said that
I
correctly.
think so,
Please.
yeah.
Um, Illusion, Techno Gamers, Typical Gamer, and Usada Pekora. Uh,
YouTuber.
the only thing I can say is I only know of Usada Pekora.
Mm.
That's really the only one that I know. But yeah, that's all I got. Rug, you want to start this one off?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Again, I think it's I think what's important is like what do they say in the description? Like the the whatever impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever they've done. Beyond just having a good following and all that type of stuff. It's like what have they done for the positive impact in the community? And if they, whichever of these have done, some notable things, I assume that's who would get the nod. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
I'm just not familiar. What is it Usada Pecora from?
Um, I've seen quite a number of Twitch and YouTube streams.
Hmm.
It kind of comes off in the form of like I guess an AI, but like I don't know like the actual person behind the persona.
No, yeah,
So
it's like a VTuber, right? It's a
Yeah.
VTuber.
yeah,
I
YouTuber.
VTuber, that's what it is.
Definitely a
Yeah.
VTuber.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like, what kind of stuff do they play? Is what I meant. Yeah, what kind of stuff have you seen them
They
play?
do just like variety streams,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just
variety
curious.
games, yeah.
Yeah, no, just curious. Yeah, because I'm not familiar with any of these, but I'm also like, I'm like actually a little bit older than JT, just not don't look nearly.
Wow.
You're 3 weeks older than me, but
I'm just
look
saying.
5 years younger.
I'm just saying. But like JT knows these youthful technologies and youthful trends. I don't know, man.
I mean,
Very useful.
I looked at these people and I was like, mad props, guy in your car, Glamour Shots 2, guy at work, and VTuber. I was like, all right, y'all did something
Oh
right.
my
Awesome.
god.
Uh, I don't know. And
Uh,
since I have a friend who is a Twitch partner VTuber, I'm gonna go with the VTuber.
Yeah, I think
Damn.
Anything I
VTuber's
can
cool.
do.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they've good
okay.
following.
JJK, what you got?
Uh, Definitely, I agree with Husada Picadora. Is like she's like the Hololive VTuber, so
Uh-huh.
like it's very popular. But did you choose these photos, or did these guys put these photos up on their site?
This is the actual from the Game
Okay,
Awards.
fantastic. Because Queso, the guy with the Waffle House picture,
Oh
it's
yeah.
funny
is
because
wild.
like they do a lot of like fat jokes around him, and everyone just like trolls him on that. Like, oh, like
Dang.
is there an earthquake? No, it's just Queso like jumping up and down. It, like a lot of jokes on him. So
That's
my
funny.
first vote will probably go to Queso just because he's such like a meme and he just like
Okay.
rolls with it and he's very like cool with his community. And probably my second one would be the VTuber for Hololive, yeah. Because
Okay.
I don't know the other three that well, but also just for
Yeah,
the
I'll go.
memes and
Yeah,
the way
Waffle
things
House
are
is
going.
fine. Yeah.
Dude, the Waffle House is
Yeah, I didn't notice
hilarious.
that until you said that.
Golly.
Waffle House.
Yeah,
Dang.
my vote's Queso for this one.
But I'm assuming all these people are big enough to have agents and managers that would supply the pictures
Yeah.
for what it's worth. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
whether it's
Yeah.
Glamour Shots or JP's Snorlax and Grooves, Pod Buddy at work. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man.
I
Wow.
am my own best friend.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else having anything on this category, or shall we proceed?
They proceed. It's all good.
All
Proceed.
right. Now we're gonna get into the good stuff. We're gonna fire away with most anticipated game.
Yeah, but there was just a recently announced game
Oh my god.
that was announced too recently to make it on the list, but it should be the most
God.
noted and notable anticipated game on here. You know what I mean? Actually, there's two of them because there's
Oh,
a
man.
new
Oh my god.
version of an existing game, and then therefore a new version of that franchise is coming.
You might as
well.
well go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
I'm
Get it
saying-
out of your
I'm
system.
just saying, aside from most anticipated game, it's the most anticipated Virtua Fighter game.
Oh.
Jesus.
And then so we have
Let's
both
go.
Revo and the soon to be announced either 6 or reboot. You know what I mean?
It's happening.
Or maybe they'll just skip to like 7 or 8. You know what I mean?
Oh my
But
god.
either
I
way,
just want to go ahead and say
Skip a few, you know.
yeah,
I'm salty
because
that
dude's
my
been like
game for most anticipated is not on
12
here.
weeks or something. Oh, really? Yeah. What's that? Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious.
The greatest RPG franchise of Suikoden 1 and 2 remake
Oh
is
my
coming,
god.
Yeah.
and didn't even get out like a hat tip. They just
How is that?
Oh,
and it's
jeez.
kind of not. They turned away. And it's like you don't exist.
No,
I was
it's
like,
just
ow.
like no, it's just like that's just why would in spite of how much is you're anticipating it, it's interesting you would think that that's big enough to make it onto the Jeff Keighley anticipated list. You know what I'm saying? Because it is just
All right, we're about to. When you get to some of these games, and you tell me why this is on here. But anyway, we're
I
about
know,
to
yeah,
start
yeah,
down-
there's one that you'll see. Yeah, there's one I'll explain. Yeah, go for
Right,
it.
okay, so
So-
this guy right here did these wonderful slides. The production value went really low because this weekend's classes really kicked my butt. So,
My little heart.
boom, here we go.
No, all good.
Oh my
This
god,
is
what
how it
was
is
the
for the rest
quality?
of
It
the
went
year.
down
All
so
good.
fast.
That's
This
No,
is
no,
about it for the rest of the year.
No, but for real, it's
that's
like
so funny.
like
Oh.
I definitely don't think people are actually anticipating Death Stranding 2, but it's a Kojima game, and so he's gonna it's gonna be on the list. It's gonna be in the nominees somewhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, and I
So
wouldn't be man, if it wasn't Grand Theft Auto 6, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually like gave
It
it
was
to Death
six.
Stranding 2, just to be able to do a Kojima award. You know what I mean? Just because like Jeff Keighley and Kojima are just, it's like suspicious. You know what I'm saying? It's sus. They're
so so,
how tight they are. Uh, but no, for real, we were talking about this before we started recording. But I just like, you know, again, it'll be interesting to see what they pick. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
His
mhm.
panel and the. But I just when it comes to just generally speaking, mass critical mass. You know what I mean? The general population and stuff. Just nothing is going to be as anticipated as a new Grand Theft Auto. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like it's just like because even if you combine like if it was like you know Pokemon, 3D Zelda, Mario combination, I still think Grand Theft Auto would trump
Yeah.
that in terms of hype and anticipation. You know what I mean? I just even like the most fan servicey gotcha uh waifu game. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Still for just like Grand Theft Auto, nothing's gonna trump Grand Theft Auto. You know what I mean in terms of anticipation. I
Yeah.
just don't see it happening. But I did think we were talking about this too. I did think it was interesting that like Maximilian dude on his show said that like in his like world in his like area of things, Monster Hunter Wilds would be the most anticipated. And I'm just like, but that is not Grand Theft Auto though. You know what I mean? That is not Grand Theft Auto. That is not
Yeah.
free form murder and prostitution simulation. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
I'm just
Heck yeah.
saying, these games are huge. You know what I mean?
So, um, the description, recognizing an announced game that has demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. Honestly, I mean, Ruger, you make a good point. I mean,
This is Rams.
Grand Theft Auto 6 on there, that's a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
Me personally, um, and this is the biasness in me because I enjoyed the mess out of the first game. It was like my game of the year pick a couple of years ago. But I'm very excited for Ghost of Yote. Like, I
Mm.
enjoyed the mess out of Ghost of Tsushima. I streamed my entire playthrough of that and just had a blast. I felt like that was definitely, what a great, Samurai Ronin game should be. Although I am pretty excited for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, but I definitely don't think that really has a chance. I mean, Monster Hunter Wilds has also had some buzz because I mean, there's a handful of folks
Oh,
that I
Monster
know.
Hunter is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Monster Hunter is huge.
it's definitely grown quite a bit the Monster Hunter franchise, but yeah, I'll vote for Ghosts of Yote, but honestly, I would not be surprised if Grand Theft Auto 6 won like near unanimously, to
I
be
know that's what I'm
honest
saying.
Oh
with
I
you.
yeah.
just I just don't see anything else, actually like beating that in terms of just like it no matter if you're asking like a panel of people or you're asking gamers or whatever. But yeah, Ghosts of Suikoden. I hear you.
Wow.
Yep.
Uh, JJK. What
Uh,
you got?
I remember when they announced Metroid Prime 4 and it was like a huge like uproar and like just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people's nostalgia like spiked because Metroid Prime is like almost a lot of people's like games to like start off with. But knowing Grand Theft Auto's like franchise and there's so many jokes in like the social media. It's like we got this before Grand Theft Auto 6. We got aliens
Oh
before Grand
yeah.
Theft Auto 6. And
Yeah.
now that it's like announced finally and like just like people are like waiting for it, I just think there's Grand Theft Auto is just gonna win hands down.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, two generations. It was originally PS3 and 360 for Grand Theft Auto 5, and it went through two generations. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's just gonna be a landslide on that one.
Yeah,
Ladies and
yeah, yeah.
gentlemen, a
And then
surprise pop up. Arriving not late, nor on time,
Moted.
Moto Baggins.
Yeah, moded.
Yeah. I was
Mo,
eating chicken. Honestly, I was, and lost track of time.
We are live on YouTube and Twitch, so say hello to everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
If you haven't stopped by Popeyes, definitely go get some.
And
Answer.
Mo, just to let you know, if you click the little in the upper corner, there's some little dots. You can click it, click rename, and you can change your name. So you can change it to whatever you want
Yeah.
Okay.
within reason.
Moded Revo.
Wow.
Well, Mo, you timed it just right because we're in our first game category.
Okay.
So,
That's before.
well, no. We still gotta go through you, Snorlax and Grooves. We're gonna save moded for last on this category. So go
So
ahead.
for me, I'm looking at a couple of things. Number one, the wonderful CEO of the Rockstar group said, "We will not release Grand Theft Auto 6 while Trump is president." Well, he said that 4 years ago, and so if he still sticks to his word, you ain't gonna worry about those six coming anytime soon. But for me, I'm going with Ghosts of Yotai.
Oh my
The main
god.
reason it's going with Ghost is the first one was a big success.
Mm-hmm.
It did incredibly well. Uh, it should have been Game of the Year.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Oh my god.
this one already spiked controversy, so people are going to play it because of the female samurai, even though those were a thing. Um, I think it's going to be a great epic story. I think they're going to take all the good parts from the original, improve it, make it better. Monster Hunter Wilds is too niche. Metroid Prime 4 being a first person shooter prime, really popular, really loved, but I still, it'll tug on some heartstrings, like JJK said, but it's not going to tug on enough. And honestly, you were right, Rug, with the Death Stranding 2,
Yeah,
which looks like it's a typo because I thought it was Death Stranding. I could be
that's
wrong.
fine.
Which means when I copied
It's
and
those
pasted.
high quality slides from
It is. It like we really went out on this
from
budget
uh,
of,
from
of
from,
$0.
from online class. You know
You
what
guys
I'm
getting
saying?
paid?
While I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Old man online
But that
class.
was a surprise to see up here because I didn't realize it was a 2025 release.
It's supposed to be. Yeah. They said
So
it might be later in the year, but yeah, they're shooting for next year. But they didn't even say like if that is part of the rules for it to be next year, they should say that in the blurb. You know what I mean?
agreed, not just
Right.
upcoming.
They didn't say that in the blurb.
Yeah. To really break it down.
But I just think it's worth noting. It's just like I I'm not saying that I have no idea if Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be the game that I think is the best out of this list. You know what I mean? But that is the most anticipated by
yes.
people
Yeah.
that are not me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah. Fair.
again, I just think it's important to make that distinction. You know what I mean? It's just like
I agree, but I'm gonna go with my pick. But yeah, Ghost of Yotai is definitely
Ghosts of Suikoden.
Ghosts of Suikoden 1 and 2. Get it right. And I'm that's my more anticipated game. There we go.
All right, Most Windu, the floor is yours. What you got?
Noted.
Um. So for me, if I was speaking on me, I would definitely agree with JT about Ghost of Yokai, but um, I,
Three of you.
something about it, I don't. I'm gonna have my. I'm gonna be reserved about it. For some reason, I don't feel like it's gonna be as big of a hit as Ghost of Tsushima for some reason.
Mm.
Mm.
And I'm gonna probably go with Grand Theft Auto 6. And the only reason why I go with that is because it seemed like they mastered the longevity of how to keep a game ongoing. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Even though there's a lot of great titles on the list, and Metro Prime 4, Monster Hunter Wilds. Seeing some trailers on that was really awesome. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with Grand Theft Auto 6. Yep.
Now, the crazy
Yeah.
thing is the community is what's kept Grand Theft Auto 5 going. And the
Yeah.
fact that it's
Yeah.
released on
Agreed.
like every console that has come out. It's like it is the Skyrim of shooters. It will never die. PlayStation 6 will come out and be
No, it
like,
won't.
Auto
It
5.
won't. I mean, like, and it's still making tons of money as is. I mean, they don't have to make a 6. They might even it might even take a little while before. Well, no, that's not true. 6 will make such a big splash. They'll make all their. Yeah, I'm
Well,
sure.
it also, I mean, like you look at
Billions
Grand
of
Theft
dollars.
Auto 5 has that RPG community for the online
Yeah, the
game.
RP. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the RP. Then you also have that's like the Red Dead Redemption 2 world that's kept that alive has
Yeah,
been the
yeah,
RP community as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if they incorporate anything from that online world,
Mhm.
it's going to
Blow
it'll
up.
blow everything out of the
Yeah.
water. I mean, the
Yeah,
solo
yeah.
player could
And I
go
think they
route of Call
will.
of Duty where the solo player is like,
No,
"Hey,
that's
Howard, I need that," and then
that's a really good point. For what it's worth, yeah, because I mean that has been what is like kept it going forever, and it's crazy to put in perspective. It's like not only does it, you know, carry because they're a giant developer. It carries the publisher. That one game, the online, that's like whatever over 10 years old or more. You know what I mean? Is
Mm.
carrying the publisher. That's crazy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's just that
That's
Yeah.
one
great.
game.
Like,
It's
So,
insane.
but
question I have.
I agree with you though, JT. Or I think that's a good point. Yeah, because I've not been thinking about what the how they're gonna try to like push it out, with the online stuff. Which I agree, 5 is crazy. Just all the different things they did to keep people engaged, and how everybody just kept on buying more of the shark cards to just like pay for heists and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? But that's a really good point because they're definitely spending just as much time trying to figure out how to push that part forward as doing pushing the campaign forward. You know what I mean? So that's
Mm.
a good point. That could certainly be like, uh, all of a sudden it'll be like, you know, Fortnite metaverse concerts in Grand Theft Auto 6 or something. You can be Eminem
Man,
and
What the heck, man?
start rapping.
there will
Grand
never
Theft
be a
Auto.
concert in Grand Theft Auto unless that person had like a God mode on because I couldn't imagine somebody come up there. Are you ready, Snipe? Well, that was a quick concert. Uh, can the audience
Oh,
please stop shooting the performer? No.
Oh my god.
oh
Okay.
man,
So I
that's
was going to
crazy.
make a statement, but I do have a question about. So for Grand Theft Auto 5 online, did they mainly listen to the public on like what they wanted, and then they went forward with creating a DLC, or because I didn't know if like for Rockstar, or Rockstar or whatever, if they listened to like the fans, and then that's when they went forward and making like the DLC or online DLC for what they wanted or whatnot. I didn't know if
Well,
they
yeah, I
listened.
mean, they ended up stopping because they did have some campaign DLC planned, and they ended up like because they even like had some voice lines recorded for it and stuff like that, but they did not move forward with it because uh it blew up more than they expected. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So they kind of like pivoted all the resources into like trying to come up with more of the online modes, and also like just how to make different vehicles and different stuff work. You know what I mean? And all that type of stuff. They it's kind of like similarly like with Fortnite Battle Royale and stuff. It's just the opportunity to like it blew up more than expected, so the opportunity to like go more in that direction. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
And
The
they
only
did
thing I'll say about Ghost of Yotei, the only way that will be Game of the Year is if they add Forrest Whitaker in there.
Oh my
Ah,
God,
and
that's so random.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah,
instead of Ghost of Yotai, Ghost of Dog.
Ghost of
Ghost of Talk.
Ghost
and as
Samurai.
a guy.
Okay.
Oh man.
Anything else on this category before we move to the next?
It's a good slide though.
Oh, they just get better.
Solid.
Good. Good.
All righty. Moving on to the next category. I have to say this was quite an interesting lineup, but we got the nominees for best multiplayer game. This is for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay design, gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of the game genre or platform. Your nominees: Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Most Windu, we're going to start with you on this.
Loaded.
Wow. So I haven't played Black Ops 6 yet, but I mean, I'm quite sure that's always been popular amongst fans. Helldivers 2 is pretty awesome. Um, Tekken 8, I, I find it weird being on this list, but I mean, it is what it is. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines 2. It seems like people streaming and that looks pretty fun as well. So I mean, for me, I'd probably go with Helldivers 2. Um, I mean, it's a great co-op game, and I mean, you definitely have a lot of fun playing with your friends. And then also, if you want to shoot them in the back, if you wanted to, and I mean, it's just I feel like it brings a lot of people together in a good way. So, not saying that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 doesn't do that, but I mean, yeah, I would go with Helldivers 2. My pick.
Okay.
Tekken 8 doesn't need to be on this list.
JJK?
I would say Warhammer 40K did have its like hype, but then it died. Call of Duty nostalgia, people have it, but I don't think it's considered like the best co-op, whatever. Helldivers 2, there was some like on and off. Super Mario Party Jamboree, I don't think like I mean a lot of people do play that, yes, but like I don't think it's gonna be that popular. But for me personally, Tekken 8 is going to win because just the hype behind Tekken and
Interesting.
just so how many tournaments there has been around that
Interesting.
and just the hype of it, I think Tekken 8 is going to take this.
Interesting. Okay. Rug, what you got, Ruger?
I mean, Tekken 8 definitely has the is the best waifu factor.
Yeah.
Definitely does. If there's a multiplayer bulge, definitely
Oh
Tekken 8.
my God.
Exactly.
You're saying Princess Peach doesn't do it for you, there, buddy?
No, I mean if the if Mermaid Peach didn't have the tail, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
then-
my.
You can make Princess Peach on Tekken 8.
Man,
I've seen
saying,
a
like-
couple of outfits.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just like just like in Futurama, it's just like, well, if we can't connect the mermaid thing is all that
Oh
good.
my God.
No, no, I definitely I agree with Mo in that, like, I just they have a fighting game category, so just Tekken should
Yeah.
be there. It's just, that's my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Right.
Fighting game
I
category
see your
is
point, JJK.
loaded, though.
Because I see your point just in terms of fighting games do have very involved and robust online experience these days. It's not just queuing up and fighting. So I see your point there, and Tekken 8 certainly has a lot going on there. And I agree with you guys. Helldivers 2, I think that was even with some of his ups and downs, that was certainly like off the charts, like co-op, but it didn't have. I don't think it had much pure PvP. I didn't play it though. And I think Super Mario Jamboree is interesting, but I think this multiplayer category is more about online. Whereas,
Yeah.
I think Mario Party Jamboree would probably do better in like local or the family one or whatever. You know what I mean?
Good point.
So, just my opinion. I think just with the well-rounded co-op and massive multiplayer, blah blah blah, I do think it would probably be Black Ops 6 out of this list. Although I know Warhammer is supposed to have both good co-op and good multiplayer, but
Yeah.
I think Black Ops 6, especially if you consider Warzone and all that stuff as part of it, I think that covers everything. So,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
we'll see.
The
Snorlax
crazy
and
thing is,
oh, go ahead.
the crazy thing is the devs for Helldivers 2 didn't think it was going to be that popular, but
Right.
it ended up doing really good. So. But
Good call. Good call. Snorlax and Grooves.
Honestly, if it hadn't been for Sony making the change to Helldivers 2 that they did that caused the community uproar, I would have said Helldivers 2 ran away with this one. But honestly, because of it and the drop, Warhammer
Yeah,
40K, as JJK said, it was up, and then as soon as the next multiplayer game came out, it
Yeah.
dropped.
Mhm.
Tekken's a great fighting franchise and keeps constantly is always there. And it's up against there's the the fighting game nominations are actually really strong in this. But as much as I hate to say this, Call of Copy Black Ops 6 is going to be, a rinse repeat of 5 and 4 and everything else, but it's going to win. I mean,
Carl on duty. You know what I'm saying?
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
but I really think, like being that I'm a Tekken 8 player, this was really surprising to see this on here.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, I,
you
yeah, I think it has chops to. I think it can hang in this category. I was surprised too. Yeah, all
but
good.
I mean, as JJK stated, every time I log in, it's like new tournament coming up. Oh, there's a tournament coming up.
Yeah.
Do you have no life?
Yeah.
We have tournament. Yeah, I was like, wow. It's like they know me. But yeah, it's definitely it's hard to go up against something that people take days off of work to scout maps and be prepared, and they dressed up a camo at home for it, so that way they're into that role, and breaks marriages and everything else. But yeah, I think Call of Duty 6 is going to run away with this one.
So I was kind of surprised that Tekken 8 was on this list, but excuse me. But great points made as to why it's on here, especially for how active it's been online. Um, Helldivers 2, I know had some, buggy issues, but like most Windu was saying, a very strong, heavy co-op game. Um, Super Mario Party Jamboree. I agree with Ruger as far as that being. I think it would have a much stronger chance in the best family category. Um, to be honest, I just it's hard to bet against Call of Duty for me. Like a franchise that has really thrived in the shooters category, and while I used to be on board with like some of the earlier Modern Warfare Call of Duty games, especially Modern Warfare 2, which I
Don't
think
don't bring
is
that story up. Don't bring that story up. Don't do it.
Yeah, play a little duty.
play a little duty. Woo!
Yeah.
But
So,
in all honesty, I think it's hard to bet against Call of Duty in this one. And from what I've seen of Black Ops 6, it looks cool. The campaign looked really interesting, but yeah, I gotta go with Carl on duty.
yeah.
Um, anything else before we move to the next? All
No.
right, all right, let's keep it going. All right, next category is for best sports slash racing game. This is for the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game. Nominees are F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K 25, Top Spin 2K 25, and WWE 2K 24. Snorlax and Grooves, we're going to start off with you on this one.
I don't know why they put four other games up against an NBA 2K game. That was probably
What?
like Formula One outside of US not as pop. I mean, is I'm sorry, inside US not as popular as the rest of the globe. NBA games are constantly streamed. They're constantly talked about. Like everybody criticizes them. WWE 2K
Yeah.
was just free on PlayStation Network, um, and released paid DLC. It's got some great DLC, but the community has asked why doesn't it go back to more simulation or more arcade, less of the heavy simulation to the point where it feels like work than a game. Tennis and soccer, and it's not even the good soccer. It's EA Sports Football Club. I just think NBA 2K25 is going to run away with this one
Dang.
with ease.
Interesting. Okay.
Man, that was a fertile hot take, man.
It was.
Man.
Ruger, what you got?
No, yeah, yeah. I just like again, just trying to, I don't play a lot of the sports games and stuff, but just when it came out though, just for what it's worth, just seriously, WWE seemed to have a very, very good, reception this year, and I think they had a bad one or two, for the past couple of years, and so, I think that's worth mentioning for this group of games. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you where you landed, JT. Like NBA has been getting the man, people have been like really hating on that one for the past few years. And then even if EA Sports FC is better, it's just FIFA. You know what I mean? The old FIFA. You know what I mean? Just still doing all the micro trans and stuff, which NBA is doing. You know, I have to just take the opportunity to comment. I think Topspin and WWE would probably have the best waifu bulge factor
Oh
there.
my
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there's women's soccer in EA Sports
We need it.
football club, but that could be if that you zoom in a little bit, that could be also on there. But uh, and then F1, I mean, F1's a notable racing game. At least they have a lot of ray tracing and stuff on the PS5 Pro, so that's notable. But I think WWE is what will get it, since it's like that actually had some, there's like a little bit of redemption story after having a bunch of bad ones, and I know people did wrestling fans did like some of the those added or some of the stuff you could do with it. You know what I mean? So that's what I think will
Mhm.
that's what I
Okay.
think we'll get. What I would vote for.
Good call. Good call. JJK.
For me, I don't play any sports games, but I have a lot of like friends that do play, and from their opinion, I feel like they play a lot of NBA 2K. So my vote's going there, but I'm pretty sure they're all
Yeah,
great on their
do they
own.
really
But
like it though, or is it like the FIFA players where they
it's
just like
definitely they rage.
they just play it every year?
Yeah, some
They have
controllers have
to
been
like.
thrown, but it's
Mhm,
just like the
yeah.
competitiveness
Yep.
of NBA and
Like, and then then like trying to do the weekend tournaments, or being like
yeah.
actually like buying all the micro trans and stuff, and then hating it. You
Hey,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Anyway, yeah, all
I'm
good
honestly
experience.
really disappointed that the college football didn't make it on here.
Oh yeah, that was another. So that was another because that came back too, uh, and was received pretty well. Interesting, but
Yeah,
again,
good call
like I
actually.
was
Yeah.
saying from the off, it's very interesting. Just like where does Jeff get this stuff from, and
Yeah.
who is his panel, and you know what I mean. It's just like it's always
Yeah.
been kind of its own thing. So anyway, it can be hard to like find the patterns, the consensus and stuff. But
Most Windu, what you got?
Uh, so I'm pretty excited for F1 24. Seeing some trailers and it looks pretty good. Soccer, like Luke said, it's pretty much soccer. You know, LeBron James,
Oh God. Oh, don't you
NBA
dare.
25. You know, if he's on the
yeah,
front cover,
is
it's
he?
definitely
Is that
gonna
the
win.
cover?
No, he's
No,
not on
I
the
don't.
cover.
No, I think it was Tatum. I think it was Tatum.
Oh,
Yes, it's
okay.
Jason Tatum.
Yeah, Tatum. Yeah,
Okay.
anyway.
Top spin looks pretty good as well, and WWE, of course, you're getting a lot of connect. Uh, so um, I think I'll probably go with NBA 2K25. I mean, like JJK, I do have some friends that are pretty, they play NBA games like religiously and whatnot, and we'll definitely hurt somebody if they mess up their files and different things like that. So I'll go with NBA 2K25. Like like Spoon and Bruce said, I'm surprised NCAA is not up there, and I'm also surprised that was it Undisputed, the new boxing game that just came out?
Yeah.
Was it October?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's not on the list either. I mean, I'm not sure how it did, like on review wise, but yeah.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, I think this year, I mean like they probably could have not done F124 and just been had just a sports category this year. You know what I
Right.
mean? You
Yeah.
know,
I agree with
Overall
that.
sports.
if there aren't enough entries, I don't think they have to like combine them or do all that. But
Fair point. Um, for me, I actually haven't played 2K25 for NBA. I have the previous one. And for me, WWE 2K24, being that I believe it was 2K20 that was just trash.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, just
there's a few bad ones. Yeah,
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I know this is gonna sound biased, but with the superstar lineup in WWE 2K24, not to mention in DLC they put my all-time favorite wrestler of the Great Muta in there, so this was an
Oh
easy
man.
this was an easy pick for me. WWE 2K24 gets my vote. Um, Top Spin franchise, I have to give it credit that it's been around this long because I remember Top Spin from back on the Dreamcast.
Yep.
yeah,
It
And
was a good tennis game on the Dreamcast.
yeah,
Ones with the ladies tennis. Yeah.
I
and
play Wii tennis.
the fact that it's still an ongoing franchise, I gotta give it a little bit of credit that it's even continued to thrive. So shout out to Topspin 2K25. But
Is it a women's cast?
what's that?
Is it all women's roster?
Nah,
That's
nah,
not.
it's co-ed. It's co-ed.
When I play,
Uh,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And ever since EA Sports kind of went different direction with the name change with going from FIFA to FC. I mean, I know quite a number of people, and especially and you probably do as well, JJK, that I guess are pretty big into the soccer games, but I feel like it's kind of died down a little bit. So yeah, but I think honestly, I think NBA probably has the best shot at winning
you
this
think that'll get it? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
because you hear a lot about 2K tournaments. I mean, when it comes to a lot of sports tournaments, it's Madden and it's NBA 2K. So I get it, but me personally, WWE gets my vote. All
Yeah.
right.
Agree.
Anybody got anything else on this category?
oh yeah, fun fact. I'm supposed to be going to Japan in December. I'm going to 10 wrestling shows. Uh, and I
15.
just oh yeah, 15.
15 wrestling shows.
Ali.
So, yeah, looking forward to that. December 27th can't come quick enough. Okay, next up, we got Best Sim Strategy Game. This is for a game, the best game focused on real time or turn based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. Your nominees: Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord. I'd actually like to start this one off.
Sure.
So, I own Unicorn Overlord. I actually, that one's gonna get my vote. I really, I was pretty hyped for Unicorn Overlord when it was announced, and then went into the trailers, and I did eventually get around to playing the demo before I got the game, and I like the art style. It kind of it kind of reminded me of like a cross between Dragon's Crown and Grand Kingdom. Like that's
Yeah.
the kind of vibe that I got from it. So, and I played the mess out of Dragon's Crown. Uh so this definitely got my attention, and I was actually pretty hyped that this made the nominee list for this category. Um Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, interesting from Capcom. I definitely kind of got that artsy kind of Okami Devil May Cry sort of mix
Yeah.
to it. Um I don't know if it did too I didn't think it did, overly well review wise, as good as it could have been, but being that it made this list says something. So, but as far as which one of these has the best chance, Frostpunk 2 has been around for a good bit. I don't know, y'all. Like, I'm a vote for Unicorn Overlord, but I'm not so sure which has the best chance of winning, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's go to JJK next.
I don't know any of these games except for Age of Mythology, so that's my vote. Like I played Age of Mythology when I was like in middle school, and I put the cheats. And I'm like, oh my god, and then like die. So Not very strategy based, but that's my vote at least.
Okay, Most Windu, we're going to go to you next.
So I mean, out of the list, the only two games, well, Age of Mythology, I have never played it, but I've heard people like talk about it, say they loved it or whatever.
Hmm.
Connect to Game Path of the Goddess. I definitely agree with everything you said, Jason, about or Football Chamber about how it reminds you of Okami and Devil May Cry. So, and I definitely agree with that. It looks really good. I never played it, but not sure on how I did on reviews, but if it's on here, it must have done pretty good. Unicorn Overlord, I was really hyped up for, and Ruger, I got 7
I
collector's
know. I
editions.
know you got multiples with that one.
You really
I
got
know.
that many?
No.
No, I 3.
I
Oh,
know he got multiples though of that one. He
I
had
mean
just
that's still a lot for one person.
yeah. I mean,
Very
I after seeing the first trailer on it, I think last year, I was hooked, and I mean, actually playing it, I'm still playing it now, but I'm having a great time with it, so I'm definitely happy that this is on the list. So my pick is Unicorn Overlord. I'm gonna try to get like 5 more collector's editions before this year's over. That'll be Streets of Rage 4. Woo!
Wow.
Man.
Snorlax and Grooves, we're going to go to you. We're going to save Ruger for last.
All right. Knutsi Typo Path of the Goodness was a really interesting game. Whoever made these was, not paying attention at all.
it's a game. It's good.
Yeah, Knitsu game,
Sweet.
Path of the
It's
Goddess,
okay.
coming to your mobile handheld soon. Unicorn Overlord is my pick on this one. Age of Mythology retold, yes, nostalgia strings, being definitely plucked right there. It still goes with my philosophy of remakes, remasters, whatever, don't deserve to be on here because it's not original. It's something that just got redone and put back out. It's, of course, I'm going to eat my words in a little bit,
Mhm.
but Unicorn Overlord, the demo was incredible. The gameplay was fun. It lived up to the hype. It really was a solid game, at least for what you got to experience for a short time period. Um, Frostpunk 2, definitely seen a lot of gameplay of it. I've seen their communities that really love it. Um, Manor Lords is kind of the mystery for me on here, but I really am just going to go with Unicorn Overlord. I think should take this. Uh, I honestly really think it should take it kind of easy with no problem, but we'll see.
Ruger,
No, yeah,
finish it
yeah.
off.
No, I definitely agree with all of that. Like, I haven't played, I haven't played much of these at all, but I agree with everybody. Like, I was surprised to see Kunitsu Ugami on there. I'm just not that familiar with it. And then just for what I've seen and all that stuff about it, uh, I'm not sure exactly how it fits in this category, but again, I'm just not that familiar with it. But for it to be like sim and strategy, I'm just not that familiar. But this category is interesting because the experiences are so different. You know what I mean? It's like that is all strategy, but they're all very different flavors of strategy. And so I think that like I agree with JT. Uh, Age of Mythology certainly could take it. I could see that winning, but that is a remake. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that should be like a little bit null and void. But with Frostpunk 2 and Manor Lords, those are like big indies. Frostpunk 2 is like, Frostpunk made them one of the big indies and now they're established. And then Manor Lords is like overnight viral, big success. You know what I mean? So, uh, very different games in terms of strategy. But, and so, and we'll get into it when we get into the indie stuff. But again, if these are like, especially Manor Lords, if that's queued up for a bunch of indie awards, then would that actually win strategy? You know what I mean? Along with some indie awards. So I don't know. But I agree with everybody also is like I personally would vote for Unicorn Overlord just because again, I'm not sure if that's actually going to be what the panel and the voters would decide, but that's what I would, because it's both like, it's classic tactics and, beautiful cutting edge 2D art, you know what I mean, and artwork and stuff. So I think that would be my vote there. But again, this category is it's just each entry is just so different. So it'll be interesting to see what. And that's the thing too. Even when they tell you what wins, they don't tell you why. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So because
So
I was
Mhm.
most
gonna say it'll
voted.
be interesting to see like the reasoning, but they don't tell you. They're just like Hollywood, baby. You know what I mean? We're Hollywood. So
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. Um, Anybody else got anything else on this category?
Vanillaware, man.
Alrighty. We now go to
Yay.
Best Family Game.
Family
This
friendly.
this award goes for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. Your nominees are Astrobot, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. Let's see. Who hasn't gone first in a while?
I don't know. I think you should start off with. It should definitely be Mo or JT starting this off because they have the fertile families here.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, Snorlax and Groove, start us off.
all right. I called it out before. I'm gonna stay with it. That I think it's
Oh man.
a fantastic platformer, a fantastic family game. It's very fun. The colors, the music, a bunch of everything that attracts folks in. Astrobot should win this, but it won't. But it should. It should.
Who do you think
Okay.
is gonna win though?
Jamboree.
Mm.
Oh,
Jamboree is
okay.
going to run away with this one, honestly, because it can have multiple players. Everybody can hold on to a Joy-Con.
This board game or whatever. Yeah.
It's a board game style. It's not full on platform. I mean, Astrobot is a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I've played every time challenge, gone through all the characters. Like the only thing I'm missing is one character, cause by God, that last level I'm too old, and the skills aren't there anymore. So Master Onion's just gonna stay locked up for forever. Sorry,
Wow.
I'm not gonna punch
All in the
kick.
mind.
It's not all in my mind, but I did
Kick
unlock
punch.
Parappa and the Parappa costume, so I
Yeah,
always run around as Parappa
kick
the Rappa.
punch.
Love it.
Oh, that's too funny. Most Windu, what you got?
Uh, so I would say so. At first, I was leaning towards Astrobot, but after what Snorlax and Groove said about it being a family oriented type of game, I probably would go with Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Okay.
And of course, I love Zelda, but I definitely don't think even though Zelda's a huge title, I mean everybody knows it. I definitely don't think Legend of Zelda would definitely win that category. But yeah, my pick is Super Mario Party Jamboree. So
Okay. All right,
hope I didn't know.
Ruger. All
Yeah,
right.
no, I completely agree with JT. But I think for what it's worth, I think any of these games could be a good winner for this. You know what I mean? Because I think, like JT was saying, I think all these games will be like would do the whole like fertile dad and not as fertile yet son, or fertile dad and you know offspring daughter. You know what I mean? Uh,
What the-
but the whole point is like I think all these games, it's like I could definitely see that dynamic of playing together, solving things together. You know what I mean? But I do think Super Mario will run away with it just because it is just like virtual board game. Both co-op and versus shenanigans and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I think that's what will end up being taking the win.
JJK?
Same. Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Yeah, Jamboree, man.
It's gonna win. Sorry, Astrobot.
So you know what? I'm a level with Snorlax and Grooves here. I think Astrobot has more of a shot than we might think. I honestly think. Um, Although Super Mario Party Jamboree, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Definitely can't go wrong with that. I enjoyed the mess out of my playthrough of Princess Peach Showtime. But of course, with it being a single player game, that's kind of where the disadvantage is. Same thing with Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which, can't go wrong with a Zelda game overall as far as a great game. I mean, it's Zelda. I've heard good things about the Plucky Squire, but I've never played it before. So that may be a game I have to explore at some point. Um, I think now my vote is going to be Princess Peach Showtime. I mean, just
Dang.
I played it all the way through from start to finish. I beat it. I loved it. Streamed my whole playthrough. Kung Fu Peach, Ninja Peach, awesome. Um,
Family.
but if you
For
ask,
the body pillows.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
wow. But
That
if
was
you
easy.
but if you ask me, I think it's gonna come down between Astrobot and Super Mario Party Jamboree. But I'm gonna give the slight edge to Mario Party Jamboree.
Yeah.
Mm,
But
yeah.
but
No,
I
I'll be happy if anything else takes it. I think it's well
Hell
deserved.
yeah.
It's good. You know what I mean? But I just think Mario will be picked. You know what I mean?
If Mario had not been on there, Astrobot would went away with this category.
that
Honestly,
that's fair.
but
That's
you've
fair.
Agree.
got 4 solo players versus a
Yeah.
party game for a
Yeah,
family
yeah.
category.
Yeah.
Right.
So
All right. Anything else on this category? All right. Let's keep it moving. It's about to get very interesting
Oh man.
as we now have the award for Best Fighting Game. This is for the best game designed primarily around head-to-head combat.
Yeah.
Your nominees: Dragon
Press
Ball
play.
Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Collection Arcade Classics, Most Windu You're Not Slick, Multiverses, and Tekken 8.
You're missing one.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to next year. Looking forward to next year.
Where's that 6 bullet?
Yeah, because there might be 2 Virtua Fighters in there next year. You know what I'm saying? There might be 2 Virtua Fighters.
You know
y'all
what?
gonna mess around. The dragon are gonna come out on this one.
You know what? Just because of that, JJK, you're going first.
Oh man. I think I played 4 of them. And the 2 that stands out to me the most is Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero and Tekken 8. I think Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero did have like that big, huge like hype and like fan base behind it playing it. It did like get very popular.
Mhm.
But I think in the long run, just Tekken 8, I think personally for me, is gonna take this one. So it has my vote for that.
Okay. I'm gonna go next.
Virtual Fighter.
So,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
oh my god.
Yeah,
So,
that's Best Revo
Yeah.
game next year.
so I'm shocked. I'm kind of shocked that Multiverses is even on this list, to be honest
Eh.
with you.
You and me both.
Um,
Yeah.
the fact that, you know what, the fact that Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising made it on here was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it's good. Yeah.
um, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. I mean, it's nice that that's on here, and it's great, waves of nostalgia playing that. I mean, I
Yeah.
just recently got a physical copy of that. Definitely don't see it winning though. I think it's honestly going to come down between Tekken 8 and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. The thing is, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero sold like that so
Mm.
quickly within a matter of like what, two days or so.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like
fast.
it was very impressive. And sales, reviews were kind of mixed. And I know initially there was a lot of complaints about the first main boss with Ape Vegeta. There were a lot of complaints about that, which I don't know if they updated and scaled that down. I'm still going through it, but what makes this really tough is you got a pure fighting game in Tekken 8, and then you got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero based off the Tenkaichi style that sold really, really well.
Right.
So I really think it's going to come down between those two. But being as I'm more towards old school, my vote's going to have to go to Tekken 8.
You know.
All right.
Yeah, Revo. Yeah.
Oh my God. What the heck? You know
Doesn't
what?
notice that, and I agree. I'm just saying.
Snorlax and Grooves, you're next.
Tekken 8 Revo. It's all good.
I mean, it's It's between, I don't know, again, multiverse on here, odd. Again, remakes, I don't think belong on here, but then again, it is Marvel vs. Capcom, so yeah. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. I've watched it several times on. Let's see, I've seen it on Mo's stream. I've seen it on other streams. Um, Same with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Um, I think it did really good. It's got incredible music, but I really and Tekken 8 did spark, some controversy with that store they
Ah,
have now with real
yep.
money and everything.
Oh, good point. Good
But I
point.
Yep.
think Tekken 8's going to take this because of the pure mechanics and the pure gameplay
Right.
and the anticipation of the characters we haven't gotten yet that people are excited for. And let's not forget they have a Nike crossover because it's important to know what you're kicking people with,
Uh,
which makes no
sponsor.
sense. I don't understand that partnership. But um, the storyline, I went through every bit of the story in Tekken 8 and
Oh,
loved every
nice.
second of it. It was a solid story with updates, add-ons, everything. Then you had the individual arcade finishers for everybody as well. Um,
Yep.
and they brought Tekken Ball back in Tekken 8. Which so as a game itself, it adds more than just the fighting, and it's a lot of fun. But as a pure fighting game mechanic, I mean, Grand Blue Fantasy was fun. That's an enjoyable fighter. But I really think Tekken 8 is going to go with this category, um, relatively very easy. And then I don't know what's going to happen next year because you know Marvel vs. Capcom 2 will probably have another remake, and we'll just talk about that all the time.
Mm.
Interesting. Most Windu, we're gonna go with you.
Virtual Fighter Revo.
Oh
I
Oh
knew
yeah.
that was
man.
coming.
Oh
Yeah,
my
same.
god.
Same. That's what I'm going
And
for.
It's not on the list. Ah!
Yeah, we're
and
gonna
then
we'll,
and
we'll
next
go
Uh,
year
fine.
and then next year will be Virtual Fighter 6. That'll be my pick.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, it'll be
Um,
Revo 6 and 7. Will be all up in
yeah.
there next year. Yeah.
So yeah, for me, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball and anything Dragon Ball related. It's an awesome game. I don't really, and I know some people might get upset about this, but I don't really call it a true fighter. I
Mm.
would pretty much consider it like an arena fighter, I guess maybe.
That's fair.
Um,
That's fair.
yeah, but I mean, other than that, everything about it has been awesome. The Tenkaichi series has been very successful as well. And I, that's not my pick, but I have a feeling that for some reason I have a feeling that might win because of Akira Toriyama passing. A lot of people it might be I don't know if they're voting or if that's how they might choose the game, but if that is the process, I think Dragon Ball Sparking Zero might pull through with that. But anyway, I'm gonna go through the list. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. I love that game. It's phenomenal. I love the art style, the music, the core mechanics is very solid. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. It's awesome. You can't really say anything bad about that. Other than it just being a remake. And I feel like because of it being a remake, I can't really like pick that. Multiverses, I don't understand why that's on the list. But then again, when going through and seeing what fighting games came out this year, surprisingly, it wasn't that many fighting games. So I feel like they just threw that in there just to fill up the list, or whatever. Tekken 8, I feel like is the best fighting game I've played this year. Um, Everything about it, the story, the fighting mechanics, the graphics. Everything about it is really solid. Despite I know some people got upset with how I think when Hahashi was released in the DLC stage, they thought that if you purchased the season pass, that would have been included.
Mm.
But despite all that, anyway, it's just the fan base is big. It's just phenomenal. It's not too much. I can't really say anything bad about Tekken 8, other than despite people unplugging and fighting them and whatnot, or just backing out and quitting. But other than that, Tekken 8 is a solid game, and like it's a true fighter. So compared to any other games on the list, so that's my pick. Tekken 8.
Ruger, finish it off.
Yeah, and I think yeah, interesting points about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. That's not my type of thing. I didn't play the Budokai and Tenkaichi games back in the day. Um, but but that had a good story this year. I think, but aside from like Grand Blue, all these games definitely did have like a story throughout the year. You know what I mean? And then yeah, Dragon Ball was uh huge, met with huge fan purchases. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not sure what the reviews said, but I know it was like very anticipated, and the fans definitely showed up and bought that game. You know what I mean? And then Marvel vs. Capcom collection was just that's a good story, just in terms of like it actually got brought back. You know what I mean? And they had the net play. Even Joe V bought a copy. You know what I mean? And it was like it was a big deal. And then so I think it's just here in this category to represent that story. That it was like people thought it wouldn't happen, and there's get all the licensing done, get the net play, and then there's some differences that hardcore players flagged when it came out. Capcom actually fixed them. You know what I mean? And so it's really good. Yeah, Multiverses was supposed to be a good story. You know what I mean? Because like WB had like put it back into beta for quite a while, and we're hoping to like bring it back out, and it actually be like a good arena fighter contender and stuff. But they brought it back out, and then they ended up losing hundreds of millions of dollars on it and stuff. So it was like supposed to be a good story, ended up being a bad story for them. You know what I mean? And then Tekken 8 would be have a flawless story if not for what Mo was talking about. That recent stuff has just been like, I hope it recovers from it and everything, but there's a lot of the fan base that is just so mad about
Right.
about that stage and the Hiachi DLC, and why does the season pass not get you everything and stuff like that? You know what I mean? So
Mm.
uh I hope they recover, because otherwise, I agree. I thought that was just like executed so well to like, you know, um just like the actual core fighting game and mechanically and all that stuff, but also just like I agree that like that's the big fighting game that's actually like bringing the whole community industry forward. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it'll probably get it, and I hope that like I hope, again, I've said it, but I hope they recover from that, the current bad sentiment. You know what I mean? I hope that Tekken 8 is able to bounce back from that and be as big or bigger than Tekken 7. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
we'll see what
Good,
happens.
good breakdown. Really good breakdown. Alrighty, shall we move on to the next big category?
I just
This,
want to say one thing.
yeah, go
Virtua
for it.
Fighter 6 next year,
Oh my
Game
I
of the
God.
Year
know,
now.
or Virtua Fighter reboot or whatever they call it. You know what I mean? Virtua
Boot.
Fighters. You know what I'm saying? Virtua Fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Well,
Definitely getting the collector's edition. So
Mm.
Yeah.
going out.
next up we have best RPG. This is a heavy hitter category. This is for the best game designed with rich player character customization and
Woo.
progression,
Yeah.
including massively multiplayer experiences.
Mm.
Your nominees: Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Shadow of the End of the Erd Tree,
Yep.
uh,
Noted.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor Refantasio. Uh, you know what? You went last, and you're about to go first. Ruger, kick us off.
No, I think this category is very interesting too, because these are also very different. You know what I mean?
Oh.
These are all very different from each other, just in terms of like, nothing is too whatever, too western. There's no like Bethesda style on here. But it's like, technically you have some traditional turn-based stuff, and you have some and more modern, not turn-based stuff. So I think it's very interesting, and like, and so here we go, with the whole discussion of like, with some of these games that are nominated for Game of the Year, would they also get this and that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And historically, I know Game Awards have gone both ways with it. Sometimes it's like some stuff sweeps all these categories, some stuff just gets like one key category. So, uh, and so another question is too is like, would they give it to Elden Ring the expansion? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not sure, I for me personally, you know what I mean. This is a tough one, because I do think that like, um, for me personally, I think that I think Final Fantasy VII or Like a Dragon or Metaphor would be my pick. I'm not sure because I haven't played enough of them to like make a call there. The but honestly, for this award show though, I could see them giving it to, again. I could see them giving it to Shadow of the Erd Tree. I could see them giving it to Dragon's Dogma 2. Everybody, that game also made a really big splash, and people just really liked the way it played and just exploring the world and doing the combat and stuff. And so, uh, but the story is kind of weak in that one. So again, I think that kind of shifts the focus back to these other ones. Uh, you know, I don't know. I personally would probably also vote Final Fantasy VII for other categories. So I'm not going to vote for that for this one. So, uh, and I guess similarly, I think Metaphor could get it for some other stuff too. So I will personally vote for Like a Dragon, but I'm not saying that I think that's what'll win. I don't think that necessarily will be what gets it though. But I'm interested to see what you guys think. This is a very loaded
Mm.
category in terms of like different options and stuff.
JJK, you're up.
Like a Dragon, the Yakuza game with a lot of hilarious moments. But
Yeah.
yeah, the story is good. But dude, yeah, this thing's jam packed. I feel like Metaphor, Re Fantasia came like towards a little bit later towards the year, so I don't think like a lot of people has enough time to like digest it. Um, Dragon's Dogma 2, like classic, like people love it. Final Fantasy, same thing. I feel like I don't want to say it, but like I feel like Elden Ring's gonna take this one,
Gonna win something. I think he's
unfortunately.
gonna win something.
Yeah.
Just because of the way like you emphasize what like best RPG is, like online, like story based and all of that, and that's the game that has all of that.
Yeah,
So I
that's a good
I
point.
feel like Elden Ring is gonna take this one, or
Sure.
just my vote, at least.
So I'll go next. Um, you got some heavy hitters in this category for sure. I mean, Metaphor, which I own Metaphor, definitely, same folks behind the Persona games, definitely had excellent reviews. Um, Pretty cool game as well. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Ever since really the Yakuza series turned to more of the RPG style, it's definitely, stayed strong in the franchise. Um, of course, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I'm a big Final Fantasy VII fan. I mean, the original Seven's my all-time favorite game. Uh, Streamed my whole playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Cannot wait for the third and final part. Um, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree. I mean, technically, expansion, but I mean, it's Elden Ring, and Elden Ring, I mean, it got a handful of awards itself, which I believe Elden Ring won Game of the Year as well. So
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah.
so definitely that's going to really bring bark and bite to this category. Dragon's Dogma 2 um, had quite a big release, and I really liked what I saw when they announced it. Um, I mean, personally, my vote goes to Final Fantasy, but honestly, Elden Ring might be the favorite to win, but I'm kind of curious to see if Metaphor has enough firepower to sneak in a win in this category, especially based on reviews. But we shall see. Um, Most Windu, you're up.
Yeah. So for Dragon's Dogma 2, I did pick that up and I played it. Um, and I agree with Rue. The storyline, I guess, really didn't like keep me. I played probably like a good 2 to 3 hours, and every time I try to like go back into playing it again, I just can't. I don't know. I just can't get into it. I'm not saying it's not a good game, but it's just I guess it's just not for me. I'll get back to Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Of course, I've not played it yet. I did pick up the collector's edition. And I mean, it, the previous, I mean, the remake was awesome, amazing. I mean, fantastic. Rebirth. I can't wait to play it. Um, and Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. I've never played any of the, I guess like the arc when it switched to the RPG style. I've played the Yakuza games, so I'm not really sure on too much about that. And for Metaphor, Re Fantasio, I have not picked that up or played it yet, but I've seen people stream it, and just, I mean, it looks like a fantastic game. The music score seems amazing, and the story seems really, it seems like it has a lot of depth to it. Um, for Elden Ring, I would choose that, but I guess it's like the thing I'm not understanding about like their selection is that is it fair to give an expansion like in a certain category like that? Like if they had their own like maybe best DLC expansions, then I could see Elden Ring being up there. But uh, I would hope Tom Fantasy Seven Rebirth wins, uh, but I probably will go with Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree. I feel like that might pull out a victory. So with that.
Snorlax and Grooves, finish it off.
All right, you've got the 2022 Game of the Year. I mean, it swept almost every category in 2022 with an Elden Ring. And this is why earlier when we were having that discussion, Mo, before a little bit before you came on, we had the discussion of like should DLCs, like they honestly included DLCs with that new rule this year for Elden Ring. So I mean, honest to goodness, I don't know if it's going to win this category, but it's going to win some other categories for sure because it is a beloved franchise.
Right.
Uh, but honestly, my pick for this is Metaphor. I think it's got a surprise enough. It's already from a creator who just came off one of its best games of its franchise series that has the most add-ons to it, that got nominations before. Uh, but now you've got a new art direction, you've got a different music team, but you've got a lot of really good game mechanics and a system that feels familiar to a lot of players who really enjoyed. So I think Metaphor is going to take this. I'm hoping Metaphor takes this, but I just really think you've got a previous goat coming back in just to reclaim more, again categories. But I'm going to pick Metaphor.
Gotcha, gotcha. Sounds good. All right, shall we proceed? Here we go. Best action adventure game or action slash adventure game. Um, for the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Got quite an interesting lineup of nominees. They are Astrobot, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. JJK, we're gonna start with you.
I did not know they had another Prince of Persia game. That's crazy. Um, Star Wars Outlaws, Ubisoft. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. I haven't picked it up, but I've seen it, and like the game mechanics are very unique. Astrobot. I personally haven't played it, so I can't say much about it. Sorry. But Silent Hill 2. I know it is a remake. I know, but I feel like just the media behind it of Silent Hill and like all of like the story behind it and like people are hyped and like people are even like dressing up for Halloween for like different Silent Hill like characters, and I think it's just gonna be a crowd favorite. So my vote is going for Silent Hill 2 for
Okay,
best action.
interesting. Most Windu, you're up.
Uh, Man, Star Wars Outlaws. Jeez. Uh, that's definitely not a pick. Um, Astrobot. I mean, have not heard anything bad about that at all. I've not played it myself, but I've seen people stream it and play it, and it seemed like they really enjoyed it. I really like Legend of Zelda: Echo of Wisdom. I like the way they went with that, even though it's not the typical Zelda game. But I mean, what they did with it. I mean, it looks pretty awesome. But I probably will go with Silent Hill 2. I mean, just the fandom behind that, and just seeing how I guess like the gameplay looks. I mean, looks really scary like it did before, and I mean with the updated graphics, yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with Silent Hill 2.
Okay. Um, Snorlax and Grooves, you're up.
Okay. Prince of Who? Oh, this was a game? Holy crap. Like, didn't even know that thing came out. I was surprised. I saw it on the nominations and I was like, there was, I go look this up. Did not know there was a new one. Legend of Zelda, first time Zelda showcase. You're getting that old school nostalgia. Uh, uh, the older versions of Zelda, not your traditional last two that have come out.
Mhm.
A lot of people weren't happy about that, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out. Astrobot's going to take this one. Um, I really think it is. It's got a ton of elements of puzzling all throughout multiple stages. Uh, you go back through, you have to refine characters if you miss them. The mechanics, if I can't rave enough about this game. Um, Silent Hill 2, I thought was a great PlayStation 2 game, and it was. I mean, remake for the PS5. It was. I'm glad to see it on here, but I just fresh take of Astrobot. I think is just definitely going to win. And Outlaws, cause God Almighty, I just noticed Outlaws is terrible. As bad as the typo is there. So it died really quick. I got people that were hyped for it aren't even hyped for it. I couldn't even spell it right. I was so disappointed. So
Oh,
I mean, but the audience will be happy to know that JT passed his exam and his class that
I
day.
did. I did.
He
And
did.
in between the teacher talking, it was a slide per conversation. I was like, all right, class, on to the next slide. Yep, that's right. On to the next slide. So shout out, G, I'm sorry. I was doing this in the middle of class. So when you called me out, this is what I was doing. And I even told you. So my bad. Um, there we go.
Mhm.
I still passed.
That you did.
let's
That
go.
you did.
Oh, that was
Ruger,
another
Ruger, what you got?
that was another fertile take right there. Another fertile take on all this game stuff. No, actually, I actually completely agree with JJK. Although I was aware of that Prince of Persia game. It came out towards the beginning of the year, and it was a small release for them, but the press really liked it. You know what I mean? So, uh, but and I just don't think that will win this category with everything else. I agree with you guys. Like, it is interesting. I actually did play some Star Wars Outlaws, and it's cool, but it really is like all the reviews and all the it's just to be such a big lavish production, it is kind of rough around the edges and stuff, like for the gameplay and everything, and some of the acting and stuff is subpar in it. But I agree with and so I personally think I think Astrobot will get a different category, and so I even though I don't like to vote for a horror game for best action adventure, I also agree. I think Silent Hill 2 would probably get the nod for this one. Just in terms of like uh, out of this group of games going through the adventure, in just traditional game sense, I think that's the best out of this bunch. And again, I think Astrobot. I can certainly see Astrobot, but I think that will be one of the. I think that'll win some stuff at the higher categories. So gonna go with
Gotcha.
Silent Hill.
So personally, yeah, Prince of Persia I've never been really crazy about. Um, Legend of Zelda, might have somewhat of a shot. I was very disappointed with Star Wars Outlaws because I was really hyped about that and just did not pan out like I hoped it would. So that was kind of a bummer. Um, Silent Hill 2, I mean, it looks great, but remade and whatnot. To be honest with you, I really think this may be the category that Astrobot takes it. I honestly think it makes the most sense. And being that Astrobot blew up quite a bit, I really think this has to be the strong one to win this category, in my honest opinion. I think Astrobot takes this one.
Real quick shout out to the former Typo King, Mr. Scott Diller himself. Thanks for stopping by and the text messages and saying hello, and that he recognized all of our lovely faces as he QAs and critiques my slides as we go through them, and I get text update real time. Much love to you, sir. Thanks for
Tell them if they need a freshly graduated TPM. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Oh, they already know. Don't worry.
Freshly minted TPM certificate.
there you
They've already been notified. So don't worry.
Okay.
We're already ahead of this. But no, yes, I take my typo crown from you, good sir.
I will say this, Outlaws, if they had Mace Windu in there, then probably would have won some awards. But because he's not in there and he's still alive,
Oh
he's still alive.
man, that's too funny. All right. Next category: best action game. Best action game. This is for the best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat. Your nominees: Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, Warhammer 40,000, Space Marine 2. Snorlax and Grooves, you're up.
Here is where Black Myth Wukong starts to win. Black Myth Wukong, first time nominated on here, first win. Against everything else, not a problem.
Dang.
Dang.
just
Dang.
straightforward.
Yeah. Black Myth Wukong is just, I think it's, yeah.
Ruger, you're up. Oh, I think you're muted.
Sorry, mic was off. No, I do think Black Myth will take this one. I think Helldivers 2 was a little bit too online focused for this group personally. But I think any of the other four could would be okay. But Black Myth, I mean, like it sold so much. I mean, they actually made a really big splash earlier this year. And so I think that's why it'll get it. I would definitely would personally. I would like to spend time with Stellar Blade, but uh, I'd like to connect with Stellar Blade.
Connecta.
But I do think Black Myth will take this. You know what I mean? I'll be surprised if something else takes it.
Okay. JJK, you're up.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a Black Myth Wukong all the way. My head wants to vote Stellar Blade, but my other head says Black Myth Wukong. So just gotta go with Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, parts of me want to vote.
Oh my
Exactly.
god. Most Windu, you're up.
So for me, I mean, I would tell the truth, but I just got a Steam Deck, so I can't ruin that. And I'm trying to work on getting a second one.
Oh snap.
But anyway,
after that.
So my pick is Black Myth Wukong, and I do love Warhammer 40,000, but I guess it's like some things about the like controls. I kind of wish it was a little bit better because it felt like kind of clunky when playing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why Call of Duty Black Ops is on here. Same with Helldivers 2, but I mean, it is what it is. Stellar Blade looks amazing. I never played it. I did pick it up, and it's still wrapped in plastic, so I need to get to that. But playing the first like 5 to 10 minutes of Black Myth Wukong, I mean, just the opening cinematics. I mean, it's just it's definitely going to win hands down, in my opinion.
To be honest, I mean, yeah. I mean, I know technically, Helldivers 2, Call of Duty, the others are action, have action in them.
Right.
But honestly, I definitely think Myth Wukong is the hands down easy pick. Just like the others, I think are good in their own way, but I think when it comes to this category, you can't go wrong with Black Myth Wukong. I think that's got to be the go-to. Got to be the go-to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also have to say for Stellar Blade, it gave me the Forrest Whitaker eye, like seeing this man,
Mm.
man. Uh,
You and
let me
that
get a body pillow.
Force Whitaker out. Aye.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, best VR AR game.
Okay.
This is for the best game experience playable in virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform. Your nominees: Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard Rafts 2, Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellsinger VR, and Metro Awakening. I'll start us off. I mean, I have an appreciation for VR and AR games. I just don't invest in them personally. Like, I respect that they exist. I mean, technology has come a long way in this department, but it's not really a area that I see myself investing in. But from what I've heard, Batman Arkham Shadow and Metro Awakening are strong contenders. The other games I don't really know much about. So yeah, that's all I really got. Um, Ruger, you're up.
Yeah, no, I don't, I agree with that sentiment with VR. Yeah, I'm also, I'm not one of the people that um, is interested in trying to keep up with that as it like as it matures and stuff like that. I just I'm just not into we're into the current generation or two of VR games. But but Batman Arkham Shadow made a big splash for what it's worth. A lot of people a lot of people that don't usually cover VR games were covering that, saying it was awesome experience and all that type of stuff. Definitely worth investing into the MetaQuest headset for and things like that. So if it's if it's actually like a system seller, you know what I mean, then there's a lot to be said for that. Um, yeah, and that's the only one that I might have read a little bit about some of these other ones throughout the year, but not much and nothing to really mention there. So and I'm a big fan of the old Arkham games. So yeah, Batman. If they get some Poison Ivy or Catwoman, you know, close ups, it's fine.
Oh,
Cutscenes, you know. Mm.
oh,
Yeah,
oh my,
just saying.
oh my God, what in the world?
They got the gloves now, so
Uh, Most Windu, you're up. Uh, Unmute, unmute.
Oh, geez, man. Loaded. So I don't have a VR headset, so I can't really, you know, give a good, review of any of these games. I mean, Batman. Uh, quite sure anything with Batman is gonna be awesome. So I definitely will go with that. I mean, you can't, yeah, I'll go with Batman Arkham Shadow. That'll be my pick.
Fair enough. Snorlax and Grooves.
Okay, this is about like the content creator category. Don't know. Kind of just sitting here. Actually, no. What's funny is I did research on actually all these games to see. Was curious, because I don't know much about VR. VR gives me a migraine, so I pass it all together. Surprisingly, I'm going to go away from Batman and go Metal Hellsinger VR because it actually got the highest rating out of all of these titles. The problem with Batman is it didn't live up to the hype of the old Arkham games. It was kind of a letdown, but people still really enjoyed it and bought the crap out of it. Metro, about the same. But Metal Hellsinger, it really did have good reviews and actually had a pretty good following. And you know, the word remake automatically made me exclude Arizona Sunshine. You know, as great as the original game was that I've never heard of, I yeah definitely will go with Metal Hellsinger.
JJK, finish it off.
Arizona Sunshine is a zombie
Oh
game.
my God.
No, I'm just kidding. So that's like zombie game, kind of scary on VR. I'll probably scream. Same thing with Metro. It's about like creepy like life forms and stuff that'll make me cry. Hellsinger is probably about like vampires or something. Asgardian Wrath sounds like I don't know, like a role playing thing. And I think a lot of people are on the same boat as like we don't own VR headsets. And I think with the voting mechanic of how this is like form based, people are gonna go for the obvious, the things that they know. So I think Batman is gonna take this just because it's a well-known name. And I mean, sure, it's not the best or the highest rated, but I think just the way things are going, I think Batman's gonna get my vote for this one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Alrighty. Still got a handful to go, but we're making progress. On to the next best mobile game.
Not a word, Rook.
This is for the
Hey,
best. This is for,
This
for
is definitely just JT's category, in my opinion. You know what
Oh
I
my
mean? So I'm just gonna agree with him.
this is for the best game playable on a mobile device. Your nominees: AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero. Most Windu, take it away.
So I'm surprised sort of Convalaria is not on here because I'm playing that constantly and definitely awesome game, fantastic based on. If you never played it, definitely try it out. Geez, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. I haven't played too much on it to give that like a pick. Wuthering Waves. I definitely I've been having a great time playing that on my PC and Zone Zero as well. Um, but I think I would probably go with Wuthering Waves. I think the only thing that's keeping me intrigued with them is Zone Zero is because like I love how their like art style is and the characters that they created so far. But I mean, just everything about Wuthering Waves, the storyline, and the mechanics of combat. Yeah, I'm definitely having a lot of fun with that, so I'm just gonna go with that as my pick. So
Snorlax and Grooves, you're up.
Oh, okay. I figured I'd be last, but cool, that works. So this is very interesting because you have a Game of the Year game sitting on this list. So that's kind of mind blowing. And Maltro, the fact that it's already here. Pokemon Trading Card Game is out of beta and finally the full release of the game. So of course it's big. It's done millions already. Um, Pass on AFK Journey. It's an idler. It's okay. Um, and honestly, Mo said it. Wuthering Waves is an incredible game. It's really good action, great character development, great characters, story's good, gotcha mechanics aren't terrible. Um, ZZZ is really, really good as well. Both play good on mobile or on PC. I just give the edge to Wuthering Waves on it big time. Um, I just really think that this as much as I want Wuthering Waves to win, I honestly think Pokemon TCG is going to win the category, but my pick is Wuthering Waves.
and you know something, JC? Guess who texted me and said that they love Pokemon? Blitzball champ. It's like,
I
yeah.
know
That
it's not
is the
him.
biggest load of bull crap.
He's
He's
like,
like,
yeah, I've been playing so much Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. I was finally just like, man, I like Pokemon now.
Oh,
He likes
hush.
Pokemon adults. He likes
catch them all.
Yeah.
he
Man,
doesn't
I love
like them to be
Pikachu.
cute pocket creatures. He likes them to
man,
be contracts with demons.
Pokemon for me to doo-doo on.
Yes.
Um, what was that? Oh, JJK, you're up.
Pokemon Pocket. Oh, it's blurred. That's my vote.
Jeez.
That's my vote,
Nice,
guys.
nice.
I did not know you played. That's
That's
awesome.
my vote, guys. That's it.
Yeah.
Easy.
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 Ruger, what you got?
No, yeah, I was like, no, for real. It's like, the only thing to note here, like, I'm not familiar with AFK Journey or Wuthering Waves, but it's a good endorsement from you guys about Wuthering Waves. But Balatro is interesting just because but since that is it's also in the indie games game of the year and stuff. I'm not sure if that should be mobile game of the year. You know what I mean? But I have seen and heard of some of the YouTubers I watch and stuff are very into playing Balatro on their phones and stuff. So, you know, uh, I think Zenless Zone Zero. I don't play it, but that type of game, you know what I mean, like the Genshin Impact style, game, I think is good mobile. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I just like whatever JT thinks is the best mobile game. I will also vote for whatever he thinks will win this category. I think I will also vote for. But since the new Pokemon trading card game, since it's you know um because it's more about just it's more about opening the packs and getting the cards and stuff, right? As
Oh
opposed to
yeah.
I
being
mean,
the actual game on your phone,
You
right?
it's
can
the game on your
battle.
phone. You have the tournaments. You've got the game. It's basically because the game that the trading card game that's been around for forever has been the beta version. Well, they finally released it, and this is what it is. And this also is the one that has the cards that you can dive into the art of and explore around and look around in the AR. It's really crazy with what you
Yeah,
can do
just
in the
if you want
card
a
game.
Misty card, only the Misty card.
I have one. I have
Hmm,
one all the times.
interesting.
But yeah, but like I said, yeah, but I don't have a strong opinion on the on these mobile games. And then but if you guys think that if you guys think Wuthering Waves edges out Zenless Zone Zero, I can certainly uh believe that and see that.
I mean, it's two Genshin clones. It's two Genshin
Yeah.
clones going against each other in the bottom. I mean, it really is. Which style of art do you like better?
Yeah, and then I'm just not familiar with AFK. Oh yeah, that makes sense though. It's Idler. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
AFK
an
trading
idler.
because you're AFK. Yeah,
Mm,
okay, gotcha. Yeah, all good. Okay.
Hmm.
Question I have for Marvel Snap, was that a year ago or 2 years ago when it
2 years
released?
ago.
2 years ago.
2 years. Okay, okay, okay.
Good question though. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Snap was nominated back 2 years ago when it was live. It won.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um.
it was a great big deal.
Uh. Let's see. For me, I mean, I really, I mean, Zenless Zone Zero. I've heard quite a bit. I mean, it's another Hoyoverse game, but I can't really contribute to this one, so I'm gonna just be neutral on this one.
Say
That's
Yeah,
Pokemon.
just defer to JT on this one.
Just say Pokemon.
Yeah, defer to JT. So
I just
he
want to hear the
loves
words
Pokemon.
Pokemon's going to win out of Blitzball Champ's mouth.
that ain't happening.
Hey,
Shoot.
Persona is like Pokemon. It's a,
it
you
is.
know,
Don't
I know.
don't don't go there,
I know.
Mo.
Yeah.
Don't go there, Mo Swindu.
you have
Nope.
Pikachu, and then you have whatever character that looks like Pikachu in Persona.
None of them. Um. Okay. Is that everybody? I didn't miss
That
anybody.
was everybody.
Okay. All right. Best debut indie game.
Oh,
Um.
it's debut, not debut. Okay, my bad. Wow. I thought it was Indie Best Debut. Yep, my bad.
This is for the best debut game created by a new independent studio. Your nominees: Animal Well, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, The Plucky Squire. Ruger, you go first.
Yeah, I think for this one, I think I will vote. My logic here is that I would vote for I think I think Manor Lords or Animal Well or Balatro will get this. I'll vote for Manor Lords since that's not in the other category. You know what I mean? And Manor Lords, I mean, Animal Well, Manor Lords, Balatro all blew up a lot this year. But I'm just gonna say Manor Lords for this one.
Okay. Uh, Snorlax and Grooves, you're up.
So I'm also going to go Mana Lords over Strategy Sim that it was back before. It like as Rook said, it did blow up. It did get really well. I mean, Balatro is well known. I don't know enough about the Plucky Squire for RPG or for this one, but I've heard of the others. So I'm really thinking. I think Manor Lords may actually take this one. Um, but it's interesting to see the diversity in the category of all over the place. So, but good job on strong indie titles this year.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, I could see any of these would be good wins. Yeah.
JJK, you're up.
I don't know any of these. So I'm gonna go with Animal Well. Cause it sounds like a game where you throw animals down a well.
Oh,
Wow, that's funny.
Is that yeah, that's my vote.
Most Windu, you're up.
I'm gonna Ray Charles this, and I'm not sure which one
Dang.
to. Oh, my fingers on oh man, the Clucky Squire. So that's my pick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
wow.
to be honest, I don't have much input, but I'll just say I've heard great things about the Plucky Squire, so bam, that
Sure.
gets it for me.
ow! I'm curious to see which one takes this away. Actually,
Yeah, I
this
This
am
is
is
one of the
too.
categories
very
that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious what they'll give it to as well.
Yeah, good call, good call. Um, next up, uh, so we go from best debut indie game to best indie slash independent game. Quite a transition here. This is for the outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Your nominees: Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50. Uh, I'll start off just to get it out of the way. I don't know any of these. I know, Rug, you've mentioned Balatro quite a bit. Animal Well's been mentioned quite a bit. I'm gonna just randomly say Balatro. Um, Most Windu, you're next.
Man,
Please, Ray
you know,
Charles. It.
talking about Ray Charles earlier. And you can see, so I'm gonna go with whatever says eyes, L'Oreal, and the Laser Eyes. I'm going with that. I know nothing about none of these games, so yeah. There you go.
JJK, you're up.
I'm standing firm with my previous answer. Animal Well.
Oh, Animal Well sweeping the indies, huh?
Animal Well.
Rug,
Let's go.
Ruger, you're
Yeah, no,
up.
I personally think I think I don't know anything about Lorelei and the Laser Eyes and then or Neva. Uh but I think the other three I could either see either of them, any of those three taking it. Um but I'm gonna personally just vote for Belatro since I don't think I'll end up voting for that for any of the other, game of the year, any other categories it had. You know what I mean? So I'll vote just based off of that reasoning. I'll vote Belatro for this one.
Snorlax, finish us off.
Well, I mean, the Never Gonna Get It game is like not one that I think, but no, I think this is where Balatro actually wins its first one.
Mm.
Uh, I don't think it gets the indie debut just
Yeah.
because of Lords of Manor or Manor Lords, but Balatro is going to win. I think going to win this one. Although Animal Well, like if you go look at the art style, it's really,
I
really out
know, and
there
a
and
lot of people were
very
really into it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? That blew up quite a bit this year as well. Yeah.
And
Nice.
it's because of its art style that it really took to the scene as well as it did, and the mechanics. But
You
Balatro,
throw
I think,
animals down a well.
but Balatro is going to take this one. I'm not familiar with UFO 50. Uh,
Yeah, it's like a mini game collection that's supposed to be kind of like
okay, okay,
NES style. Like those, like the
the retro cons and all that, the retro
yeah,
joy.
the
Yeah,
the where the NES remix, and then their
yeah.
World Championships game they just did. Nintendo just did. I think it's like that where it's like really short mini game challenges. I
Oh,
think.
score driven challenges and stuff. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Mm,
Yeah, this will be. I mean, unless Animal Well just really and JJK is onto something.
interesting.
Animal Well. I said it here.
Yeah, I'm sure the panel is just the wait a minute. So do you throw animals down the well or what? You know what I mean?
Like, do you
I
nurse them
gotta
back to
know.
You'd be
health? That's what their
surprised.
wellness is, or
You'd,
huh?
you'd
You
be
are General So's
surprised.
chicken tonight. You know which one is it?
Wow. Okay, I think that's everybody, right?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Now we're about to step into a much more difficult category. This is for best community support, recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates slash patches. Your nominees: Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, or excuse me, that's
It was
14.
14.
14, yeah.
Yeah, what
Online.
am I talking about? Final
I
Fantasy
didn't typo
14,
that one.
Oh God.
Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky. You know what? JJK, you start this one off.
Dang.
Don't do it.
I gotta go.
I
I
knew it.
rep my epic boys. I gotta go with Fortnite. Dude, I know like how hard it is to like do an update every like week. So and I have to go with Fortnite. Biased, very biased, very biased. I'm sorry.
Considering all of us in here worked on Fortnite.
Very biased. Sorry. Biased.
You know what? Snorlax, you're up.
So, based on everything, this sucks. I really did kind of go between Baldur's Gate 3 and No Man's Sky because they really did
Mhm.
listen to the community a lot.
Mhm.
Um, Baldur's Gate 3 fixed things, changed things up, listened to its community, made patches, made changes, and everything based on it. 14 at its age and everything is an auto run now. They've had some great new things. The new expansion came out, did well. The storylines have been great, but and they've done some fixes and changes, but they're still it's an older title. No Man's Sky massively redid things, changed a lot up, added whole new
True.
planet systems and everything. I really think No Man's Sky may actually win this one this year because of all the changes they've made by listening to the community and actually throwing out support and not letting the game just up and die like they thought it was going to.
Hmm. Speaking of which, Chernobog chimes in and says, "Finally, games I play. No Man's Sky has been building for some time, and they have made some great strides." So, you know,
Well, there's a whole lot of I haven't played these responses in mobile and indie, so I don't think Blitzball and moded pre-orders cover latest indie games.
Every one of these games up here have had every one of these games have physical releases.
Yeah, I
yep.
think.
True.
I mean, were they pre-ordered by Blitzball Champ and moded? You know what I mean? That's the real criteria.
I
I'm
can't.
sure there's a copy of No Man's Sky and Moe's No Closet.
Yeah, I'm sure
Pro-
there is too.
probably shoot. Speaking of which, Ruger, you go next.
Yeah, no, it's for this one. I actually did spend some time thinking about this one because, like, again, I think what I think that the panel everybody's gonna be looking at is not because they have a separate category for like actual, content in online game or something like that. But I think for this really is like the just throughout the year, all the stories that were published about like this game tried to do this, which the fan base didn't like, or the game or some devs made this or said this, which is controversial and offends some people. And so I think that's what this I think, or the way that I interpreted this category is just like which of these games, uh, you know, um, had their foot in their mouth the least throughout the year. You know what I mean when it
Hmm.
comes to this
Sure.
stuff. And then for what it's worth, I know we like Baldur's Gate 3, No Man's Sky. I know Baldur's Gate 3. They're pretty outspoken about making sure that you know people represented, inclusivity, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Uh, but I do remember this is a random thing, but I do remember it's like Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, I mean, you guys have played it, so you guys are familiar. But you know, like
Yes.
how crazy the housing is and buying a house and the real estate and stuff. And so I
Yeah.
remember it's like after the hurricanes and stuff like that, they were about to do a new round of housing purchases, or were about to like flip a bunch of new houses live, and they decided not to because of the some people like actually lost their IRL homes and stuff. And so my point of that is like whichever of these games did the most of that type of thing throughout the year is what's going to win this category. You know what I mean? So and like maybe JJK or Snorlax and knows which they have their DMs with these various community managers for these games, and they're just asking them about like I was offended by that, and like, oh, thank you for fixing it and changing it. You know
Uh,
again, but like with Final Fantasy 14, they actually did, react to the, they got a lot of like, um, goodwill, you know what I mean, from actually like doing some stuff like that. So again, whichever of these games actually did the most of that throughout the year, I think is what'll win the category.
I see. Snorlax and Grooves, I see you in the chat. I see you. Most Windu, what you got?
Noted.
Man, when I hear the word Fortnite, it makes me think of
Yes.
you know, the little visor looking over, see what I'm doing and whatnot.
Oh man.
Yeah, but no, um, I I would like to see No Man's Sky win, because I know it had a really rough like launch when it first came out, but then like I'm quite sure like the devs been working on it constantly, and then they've been listening to like their fans and everything like that. I'm hoping that wins, but I have a feeling that Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna take it. I mean, I've heard nothing but great things about that. Um, Helldivers 2, even though I love playing that and it was a lot of fun, I don't think it will make it. Because I mean, when it first was released, I mean, like I said before, the devs didn't think it was going to be that successful, but it's like now it's kind of like a roller coaster where it was up at the very top, and then now it's like kind of like down below, or like at a ground level or whatever. So I don't think that might win it. Fortnite, mm. Final Fantasy 14, I mean, definitely a strong game. I mean, it's been ongoing. I don't know how many years it's been still around or whatever. I mean, it reminds me of Grand Theft Auto in a sense as well. But I mean, like I said again, I would like to see No Man's Sky win, but I'm gonna probably go with Baldur's Gate 3.
So, like I said, very, very competitive in this category. First off, I'll say bump the dang Fortnite.
Yeah.
Uh,
Our boys.
Helldivers 2, I don't think it's strong enough. I think it's definitely going to come down to No Man's Sky, Final Fantasy 14, Baldur's Gate 3. Uh, I definitely understand the premise behind No Man's Sky potentially taking this, especially with what they've been through. And I know Final Fantasy 14 had a similar story as well, but um, Helldivers was definitely the or not Helldivers, No Man's Sky was the more recent. Uh, to be honest, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, No Man's Sky, I think one of those three are probably going to take it. I don't think you could go wrong with either of those three. So
You
I'm
have
a
a 14-year-old game in Final Fantasy 14.
yeah,
2010 was the original release, and then Realm Reborn was after, like
Oh yeah,
slightly
I forgot
after.
about that.
yep.
Yeah.
So
So
it came out with a critical
And
failure. So yeah,
yeah, I
I mean,
remember
Baldur's
seeing
Gate 3, you can do a lot of connecting. So I mean, of course,
Connecta.
people gonna probably choose. Yeah.
I mean, you can also
What are you hearing this one?
break the law in Baldur's Gate 3 with some of the connecta.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, no,
Yeah,
no
Seriously.
kidding, no
Mo,
kidding.
you can your druid can change into animals, and then
Oh no,
you
no
end
P
up with
Diddy,
animal
no,
connecta.
no P
Whoa.
Diddy.
um. Okay. Is that everybody? Yes.
There.
So now interesting once again because we're going to see some familiar faces. Best ongoing game. This is awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Your nominees: Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2. Let's see, who hasn't gone first in a while? I'll take a volunteer.
I'll get this
Uh,
out of the way.
Go
I'm gonna say
go for it.
Diablo 4 is actually going to probably win this one. Fortnite is a strong contender with its skin of the week.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, and Destiny 2, surprised to see this one on here.
Yeah.
But I think Diablo 4 still being really fresh. New update recently really brought a lot of players back into the game. Um, not to mention the new updates done to the mobile title brought players in from the mobile title back into 4 as well. So I really think Diablo 4 is going to probably take this one. Um, just surprising over the others.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they're Diablo 4 is the new game, Fortnite's the old game for this category. You know what I mean? I don't think anything can. I mean, like JJK was just saying, I don't think any no game can churn out the suffering of developers and enjoyment of the players like Fortnite can. You know what I mean? But I agree. Like Diablo 4 is like a new contender. They've been making a lot of good moves this past year, and did like rejuvenate the game and make it really healthy and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I do think I personally like, again, if they want to give a nod to a newer game, they're going to give it to Diablo 4. If they want to give a nod to the old standby, they're going to give it to Fortnite. That's just what I think. Yeah.
Okay. JJK.
Fortnite, let's
Oh
go
my god.
to the
Yeah, man. I'm just saying.
boys.
Yeah.
The
Like a good argument to
boys.
be made. Yeah.
I mean, you won't be wrong by saying Fortnite in this one.
The boys. No, but I honestly think Diablo did make some strides. Like I've played
Yeah.
Diablo, yeah, but there was a cutoff, but now they're like reeling people back in, which is great. So I do agree
Yeah.
with
I,
that.
I, I didn't play the expansion, but I did play the Loot 2.0 was excellent. Like all of a sudden the game was
Hmm.
just so good. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming the expansion, just more of that. So yeah, I think those players are well served right now.
Most Windu?
uh, I'm gonna go with Diablo 4. I mean and I, of course, like I said again, I love Helldivers 2, but the main issue with that is it's like for Diablo 4, they're bringing their fans back by listening to their fans and making and constantly keeping relevant with DLC and patches and everything like that. Not saying Helldivers 2 isn't doing that, but it's just uh, I mean, people are waiting on like something new and fresh so they can get excited and be intrigued and get back into it. You know what I mean? That's not happening with Helldivers 2. Not saying that they won't bring anything out in the future, but for right now, I mean, it's just at a standstill. Fortnite loves skins. I mean, hey, choose that, but I'm not. 14, old game. Destiny 2, I feel like is doing everything that it can to stay relevant. Um, just bring Destiny 3 out, I guess, if y'all trying to do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree with you guys though. I don't think Destiny 2 had a good enough year to be, or I don't think it's
right,
doing enough to be on this list anymore. You know what
right, yeah, and I
Feels
definitely
like it
agree.
was just
And
one of those nods type
I mean?
thing to you.
Yeah.
That's
Agreed.
about
I'm
it.
just saying. I think it's
right,
worth pointing that out for this one.
right.
Yeah. Anyway.
And don't get me wrong, I love Destiny 2 when it first
Oh
came
yeah,
out. I played a lot,
yeah.
yeah,
I used to love
but
it.
it's just not what it used to be, and I feel like they're doing everything that it can to stay relevant, and it's really not that. So I feel like it shouldn't be on the list, but hey, So Diablo 4 is my pick.
So for me, I honestly think it's going to come down between Diablo 4, Fortnite, and Final Fantasy 14. Um, Helldivers 2, I agree, has gotten to at a standstill. And while Destiny 2 was, releasing some, expansions here and there. I feel like it's been a while with them, and I know they've been doing some deals where you can get some of the combination of expansions on sale. So I mean that's a positive in itself. Of course, Final Fantasy 14 has another big expansion on the way going into next year. Um, Fortnite's continuing to release content and skins and stuff like that. Diablo 4 with the expansions, and as it was mentioned, Diablo 4 is, for the most part, still kind of fresh as far as the rest of this list. Um, I mean, of course, my pick's going to be Final Fantasy 14, but I think it's going to come down between those three: Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, and Fortnite. I think one of those three takes it.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Agree.
We're down to the final 10. Next, we have the award for Games for Impact. This award is for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Your nominees are Indica, Closer the Distance, Neva, Life is Strange, Double Exposure, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Tales of Kenzera Zhao.
And then
Hellblade 1.
JT's and then JT trying to get out of class
Yeah.
Yes.
at the bottom.
Hellblade slash. What was that? Oh crap, that was on the test, wasn't it? Yeah, that was slash.
Wow. Most Window, you go first.
Oh man. Huh. Yeah. Jeez. I'm gonna go with Life is Strange and just go with that. I know nothing about most of these games.
Mm.
But yeah, Life is Strange, which it is. So
Okay. I'll go next. Shout out to Keep Pounding. What's up, bro? Welcome to the stream. For me, this one's kind of an easy one for me. The only one that I'm familiar with, that I actually own is Tales of Kenzera Zhao.
Okay.
I actually remember when they did the trailer for this at the last Game Awards, and was actually pretty intrigued by it. So I kept my eye out on it, like what I saw. So that gets my vote. I know Life is Strange franchise has, gotten bigger and bigger, little by little. So, I mean, that probably, will be a strong competitor. But Tales of Kenzera Zhao gets my vote. Ruger, you're up.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with these either. Kind of familiar with Life is Strange and Senua's Saga, but not familiar with the rest. Uh, and because of that, um, for what it's worth too, I don't, you know, it might be, a not a great thing to say, but it's like, I don't think the Senua games, I don't think they, I think the character just has mental health issues. I don't think it's actually like trying to do anything about addressing that or making it better or anything. You know what I mean? Just for its worth. And so, I'll just uh I'll just hop on the Blitzball loan and go with Tales of Kenzera. Maybe I can get a little loan after the Japan trip.
Wow. Well,
Saying.
oh, alone after I'm near broke. Okay, that's yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That
I'll help you. I'll help you. Whatever. I'll help you regroup and gather your finances, get everything back in order, so I can get a loan.
I'll keep that in mind.
I'm gonna
Um,
have to. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to change my pick. So I looked at Tales of Kenzera Dao, and I forgot that this was something I was looking at, and I would change my pick to that because you said if that I like this, so I would choose that game, and yes, I would go with it.
really
So
just
he might need a loan too.
Oh
So
my
Yeah.
god.
next year, Q1 sometime. So
Oh, yeah,
Q2.
yeah.
So
Uh,
Yeah, when you get back from Japan, it rooted myself up with it some more.
dang, y'all trying to drain a brother up in here after I get back from Japan. What the heck?
Oh,
Um,
but you're not coming back. I forgot.
yes.
yeah, so you better make up your mind. JJK, you're next.
Yeah, I agree with the Ruger about the Hell's Blade. It's just like I don't I didn't see that much like news about it. It was just like, oh, like it's the graphics are insane, like the
Yeah.
facial
Yeah.
like tracking is
yeah.
awesome, and that's about it from what I've heard. The other ones I'm not too familiar of, but for me, I would say Life is Strange is more on top of this because like I know like the characters go through like personal issues and
Yeah.
personal problems, and I think a lot of people will like uh I guess like kind of relate to some of these issues that are going on in their personal. So I think for me, I think Life is Strange is my vote.
And Snorlax and Grooves.
It is not close to the typo. Um, it is probably going to be somewhere. I mean, I recall you bringing up Tales of before, and it's not the part of the. It's not part of that Tales of line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
this
Right.
is not to be confused with that long-running franchise. This is something completely different. Life is Strange Double Exposure. And again, as was brought up by both JJK and Rue, the only thing I've really heard about Hellblade 2 was look at that art.
Yeah.
That was it. Like it nobody said anything outside of that. Like it was like, ooh, ah, and then where's the rest? Um, so I'm gonna jump on with the champ himself, not for a loan, but just because I recall him bringing it up before. Um, because it's going to be a sad parting day when he goes to the airport and we have to mail his stuff over because he's
Oh
been
yeah.
Oh
on a
Yeah.
ride in
god.
Japan. But Tales of Kinsera Zao is definitely like I'm curious, wanting to know more and see. I wish they would explain why the game won it did, but yeah, I think that Tales of is probably gonna win. That's my vote.
Alrighty, alrighty. All right. Next category. Innovation and accessibility. This is a very special category within this list. This is for recognizing software and/or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. And while only one could technically win this, each one of these nominees for what they bring are winners. So I just want to throw that out with all that's being done with this category. But your nominees: Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age the Veilguard, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, Star Wars Outlaws. Um my my only complaint is I wish they would have went into a little bit more detail about what specific software features that each game did that fall in line with this category. I wish they could have really went into more detail. But to be honest, I mean, I can't really specify one out of this because I mean, I really don't know um just based off of yeah, I guess my lack of what I've played of this group. I mean, really the only one I've played is Diablo 4, but it'd just be nice to kind of get an idea of what each game kind of did to push that. So, yeah, I'm a be neutral. I got nothing. Snorax and Grooves, you're up.
I really do want to know as well what this is. Most accessible games released this year. That's the only thing I saw. So uh, if that's the case, then I'd definitely say Diablo 4. I'm just going to, just because I picked it before, I'm going to go with 4 again. There we go.
Ruger, you're up.
No, yeah. So I mean, this is like I don't know if you guys. Again, this is another of the categories where I always feel like a bigoted, not the correct target. You know what I mean? Uh, but because for me personally, again, this is lame, especially for this category. But like, you buy a new big AAA game, you fire it up, it starts talking to you, and that annoys me to no end. I'm just like, I don't want you to read the menu to me. I will find that and toggle it on. I do not need you to blare out like, I'm reading the menu. I never asked you to read the menu to me. You know what I'm saying? But again, but that's what this category is all about, right? You know what I mean? And so in the past, it's like Forza Horizon's very aggressive with this stuff. You know what I mean? And out of this list, uh, Call of Duty and Diablo 4 are really aggressive with this stuff. But I find that like online games, it's definitely harder to like do the all out accessibility because you have, people uh, communicating with you poorly, calling you names and teabagging you and stuff like that. So it's really hard to make all of that accessible. You know what I mean? And so anyway, so out of this group though, again, I actually did play some Star Wars Outlaws, and boy, did it want to read the menus to me and change the colors and contrast. I'm just like,
So innovative.
I didn't want to do any of this. You know what I mean? But I think it's important for like the people that do have these impairments. I think it is good for gamers to try to do more to let them play. You know what I mean? Uh, but out of this list, I think Dragon Veilguard should take it because, like, since it's an RPG, there's no online, all that stuff. It can just play itself and read it to you. You know what I mean? As it does it. So that's why I think we'll, in terms of what the features. Again, I think it's a fair point. Like, what are the features that they're doing for this extra accessibility and stuff like that? But
Mm-hmm.
just the nature of the game, I think Veilguard's probably going to be doing the most. So that's just like uh, my opinion of what should win. I have no idea who I have no idea who they're going to give it to though. Out of all this stuff.
I see. Quick shout out to Keep Pounding. He says there's probably something out there for Star Wars Outlaws related to this topic because it's Disney, and
Yeah, and they do a lot. Yeah, like I said, I was playing it recently, and they definitely do the menu narration, and you can change the colors and all that stuff a whole lot to try to make it just deal with different impairments and stuff.
he also says Call of Duty hasn't done anything different than the rest, in my opinion. Mm,
That's fair. Yeah,
it's
I
fair.
know that they're into that though too. Just like all that stuff, and also too like different types of controller feedback and things like that for people that have trouble, using the controller normally, all that type of stuff. All the just crazy accessibility stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. JJK, you're up.
The infamous quote, "Don't you guys all have phones?" But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, I think for me it's just Diablo because like there's a lot of like, I mean it's all on, like PC, PlayStation. It's like all these like ways of being accessible for like hearing aid people or like
Yeah.
disable voice chat or disable dialogue or like there's so many settings and I'm just like, well that's the only one I played out of all of them, so that's my vote personally.
Most Windu?
I'm not really sure about this list. Just go with Diablo 4, like I showed before.
When in doubt, for it out.
Yeah.
Uh,
um, I think that's everybody. Was that everybody?
That was it, everybody.
All right. Got 8 more to go. Next up, we have Best Performance. This is awarded to an individual for voice over acting, motion, and or performance capture. Your nominees: Brianna White from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hannah Tell from Life is Strange Double Exposure, Humberly Gonzalez, Star Wars Outlaws, Luke Roberts, Silent Hill 2, Melina Jurgens, Suena Saga, Hellblade 2.
yeah.
Um,
What's the do the characters? Some of them are you can tell, but some of them you can't. You know what I
well,
mean?
well, the only one I know is Brianna White, who
Brianna
was the
White.
voice of
Is
Aerith.
that
Yeah.
Tifa? Lame.
No,
No,
it's Eric.
no, it's
Get out of
Aerith.
here.
Lame.
It's not Tifa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, Aerith was awesome. Hey. Um. Yeah.
Blank.
Honestly, this is an easy pick for me, so I just get it
I
over
knew that
with.
was coming.
Brianna White. Um. Yeah, easy pick for me.
Dang.
I
Uh.
mean, if it had been a wrestler on here that did a voiceover, it'd have been like, whatever. But I mean, as soon as I saw Brianna White Final Fantasy, I was like, I don't need to read anymore. I could stop typing the rest of this list because I already know what the answer is going to be. Like,
On that note, you go next, Snorlax and Grooves.
Luke Roberts for Silent Hill 2. You had a
Hmm.
revoicing, you had a voice cast for Silent Hill 2. It sounded well, it looks good. Yeah, Luke Roberts.
Most Windu, you're up.
Ada Wong. Oh, she's not up
Huh?
here. Oh,
That was
Yes.
so random.
Yes.
um, uh,
Good answer. Just saying.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Brianna White, Aerith, even though they should have had Tifa's.
Oh my God!
Where's Tifa? I'm just saying, man.
Besides
Dang.
the best Tifa was Rachel Lee Cook
Yeah,
anyway.
where's Tifa and Tekken 8 already?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Just
He
saying.
doesn't like the add over characters.
Oh yeah. No
Tifa
guest
were to
characters.
pop up.
Yeah.
If the guest characters were to come up and it was Tifa, he would hate her. Oh,
No, he's like, no, thank you.
No,
No,
thank you. Now, if they did something like Shuri, then I would make an exception. I'd make an exception. JJK, you're up.
I will pick Melina just because
Yeah.
the Hellblade 2,
Yeah.
we talked about it before. The whole like big thing was just like the capture of her face and the raw emotions that she's putting inside this character.
Ah,
For me, that's my pick.
Ruger, finish it off.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly, at least my opinion too, is that like I think the Senua role was probably the most challenging for the actor. You know what I mean? Whether the capture or the voice. You know what I mean? So I think that would probably and there might not be as much like volume since it's a shorter game compared to the others. But I think that's probably the most challenging role to execute. So yeah, I would vote with that too. I think she should
great
get it.
argument there for that. Good one.
Yeah, good call. Good call. All right. I think that was everybody. Um, Next up, best audio design. Gonna get into some detailed ones. This award goes to the game that's recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. Your nominees: Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Senua Saga Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. JJK, you first.
Dang. I haven't played Astrobot, so I can't put too much on that. Black Ops, it's a shooting game. Yeah, a lot of sound and stuff is important. Final Fantasy 7. Ah, and Silent Hill 2. I think those are the two that like are tugging on my heartstrings because it's just like
Okay.
it does play a lot of the classic like music and the sound effects of like different things here and there.
Oh yeah, but score music is different.
Yeah, score and music's coming up. So yeah.
Oh really? Oh, so
Yeah,
it's
so
just
this is
just
score
audio
music.
design.
Yeah,
Oh,
audio.
okay.
Yeah,
This is
sound
the
effects.
audio design.
Yeah,
Then
versus.
I would say Silent Hill 2. Just the ambience of it. Yeah.
Uh, so I'll go next. Um, while I normally would just really hop on to the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth train for obvious reasons, something tells me this is going to come down between Call of Duty and Silent Hill 2.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if Astrobot has a strong chance at this particular category, but to be honest, I think Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or Silent Hill, one of those two, I think gets it, to be honest with you. Most Windu, let's go with you.
Bang bang, Black Ops 6. I'll take.
Yeah,
Dang,
Nicki
dang,
Minaj.
that was easy. Roog.
Minaj. No, no, yeah. For what it's worth, I don't know about Final Fantasy VII specifically, but all the rest actually did do, some did put a lot into the audio design. You know what I mean? I know Astrobot did. Black Ops, the Call of Duties always do. They always put quite a bit into the way the different 3D audio and all type of stuff works. So notice both Hellblade 1 and 2, they did a lot with because they for the character that's supposed to be having mental issues and stuff, they do want to do a lot with the surround track and the different voices whispering to you and stuff like that. They also tried to make it to where there's some sequences in the new game that um certain lights and certain effects actually line up with the music, and it's very complicated to do that because you might not necessarily be uh it's hard to predict where you're going to be in the environment and stuff
Hmm.
in coordination with the music. So to be able to like actually have that stuff come together well was there's a lot to there. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I honestly don't know, which I'll be very interested to see what they actually give it to. You know what I mean? But um, uh, but just knowing like how much extra engineering they try to do, I'll give it to Hellblade 2. But again, I think all these games actually did put some extra effort into the audio design. You know what I mean? So this is another really good category.
Right on, right on. Um, Snorlax.
All right. So I actually had a hard time with this one. It's really between two with the sound effects and everything. And that for me came down to Astrobot and Silent Hill 2. Um, they really did pick up a lot of the Silent Hill 2, the ambience, the atmosphere. It gave it that creepiness, that scariness, a bit more than the original could. It really felt like it was a cleaned up, crisper one. Astrobot's sound is just you're going through. I know y'all really haven't played it, but you're rescuing bots. A lot of them are callbacks to older PlayStation titles, so they will kind of have a little bit of their uh, you hit something, everything's reactive. So like if you hit an old defender ship or a wipeout XL, you actually hear the thong, you hear everything, you see the reaction. You could tell that they crafted the sound for each individual one. So for that, I really think Astrobot's going to pull off this one as well. I do like it for that. Now, I was trying to not look at all at the soundtrack, but I really think for all the sounds and everything that went into this, I think Astrobot really is probably going to take this one.
Interesting. Damian Hernandez, welcome to the stream. He says if Kyler Murray was voting, he would have Call of Duty winning everything. LOL. I'm guessing he's a big fan of Call of Duty. I take it, Damian. I guess that's his go-to game. Hmm. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. I think we got through everybody with that.
Did.
All right. Next category. Now we
There you
turn
go.
to best score and
I see,
music.
I see.
This goes to the game that has outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. Your nominees: Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor Refantasio, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade.
Hmm.
Snorlax and Grooves, you go first.
All right, depending on how you want to read the typo, it's Silent Hill High 2
Mhm.
or
Yeah, I see,
Silent
I see, I
Who.
see, I see,
So
I see, I see.
so sorry about that. So you've got great soundtracks on every freaking game up here. Um, as much as I love Astrobot, I don't think it's going to win this one. Although, gosh, it really, when you go into the God of War stage, when you go into the Uncharted stage, it has that music back in there. It's fun. You're getting those from those games. Um, It's, for a throwback to one of my favorites of the guys you rescue. If anybody remembers Patapon, they have the Patapon, the Patapons in there. So it was just so much fun to have all of that back and in one game. Plus, not to mention all the sounds of all the different PlayStation openings as you're using the different ships and missions. So it's fantastic for that score alone. Um, Metaphor, I believe, if I remember correctly, the soundtrack is up on Spotify. It is that popular, like the Persona ones. Same with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is a wide open category of anything really could win this. But what I'm honestly hoping, just out of pure creep factor and not to, because I said this earlier, I don't like saying remakes should get this, but I think Silent Hill 2 is going to win this because the score
Hmm.
is just amazing. But that's me.
Um, let's go with, you know what, Most Windu, you're up.
Noted.
So let's see. Astrobot I've never played, so I can't really speak on that. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like I said, I haven't played that either, but I'm quite sure from playing the remake, I'm quite sure the music score is going to be phenomenal for that. And I feel like for anything, they'll definitely go all out for Rebirth and the soundtrack for that. Metaphor as well. From what I've seen on like people streaming on Twitch, and the music I've heard so far, it sounds awesome. So um, I guess I would. Ooh, I forgot about Stellar Blade. Jeez. Uh, I'm gonna say between the. I'm gonna probably choose Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, and Stellar Blade will probably be the ones that probably get selected. So I mean, like JC said, I mean, all the games on the list. I mean, not saying Astrobot doesn't have a great soundtrack, but for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade, I'm quite sure all the music score for that is phenomenal. So yeah, my three: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, and Stellar Blade.
All right. JJK.
Again, my head wants to say Stellar Blade, but my heart, it was hard between Silent Hill 2 and Final Fantasy 7. But if I will have to look at the composer itself, I would say Final Fantasy 7. Nobu is he's so good. And it's just so much nostalgia, and it's like it just shows in all the franchises too. So I will have to pick Final Fantasy 7.
You have no clue how hard it is to go against Nobu. It
It's
sucks.
hard,
It
dude.
really
Nobu
does.
is
Yeah.
he's very
That makes
talented.
a good point. Yeah.
Even though he just retired, word is, after the most recent Mistwalker Studio
Yeah.
game, I believe he announced his retirement.
He did.
Um,
He did.
Rug.
Yeah, no, I do think I think what will actually win this. I agree with you guys. With the I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Silent Hill 2 both hit the nostalgia and have good additional new music as well. I could see those are definitely deserving. I also can see Metaphor getting it, just like Persona. That's just part of like popular culture now. You know what I mean? And so, it is. You should be listening to Metaphor as you eat your avocado toast and have your cold brew or whatever. You know what I mean? So, uh, or your Moscow mules or whatever. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Uh, but I and in although Final Fantasy VII does have Tifa, you know what I mean. So that is a
Yes.
big qualification, big quality.
Yes.
As I'm going to vote for Stellar Blade
Oh,
just for connection.
yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
Connecta.
Connecta.
I don't think Stellar Blade has the best soundtrack or will win, but I also don't want her to be lonely. So
Exactly.
Fair enough. Um, First off, shout out to Keep Pounding. He says I'd have to go with Final Fantasy VII. Their soundtracks are incredible.
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, and then the old
It,
and the new. Wait, I'm
yeah,
just saying.
it
Yeah,
really is. I mean, you
yeah,
got. I mean, they even re-released all of the Rebirth, like all of the remake for 7 has gotten its own vinyl release because it was that good compared to
Yeah.
the it's amazing.
Mhm.
Um, I also want to point out that Nobuo Uematsu, 65 years old, and really the main reason why he's making the decision to retire is just because he's had a string of health issues, unfortunately. So he's trying to take it easy more. For me, um, you got some heavy hitters in this category. Especially Metaphor. I feel like Metaphor definitely came out guns blazing, as well as Silent Hill 2. Can't say much about Stellar Blade in too detail because I haven't played much of it. Um, but honestly, I think when it comes to music score, I gotta give it to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. With as much as I've fallen in love with the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack itself, and then playing through the remake, and then playing through Rebirth, like a lot of the different mixes and newer versions of some of the tracks that I'm familiar with from the original game, and just hearing those again and just in a new way, like I it made me think back to, even with the remake, the Scorpion Sentinel battle, like doing like a combination of like a version of the main boss battle, but it wasn't the main boss battle theme. I just really enjoyed that, and I still listen to the soundtrack to this day. But yeah, I gotta go with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Solid.
All right, 5 more categories left. We're on a roll here. Best art direction. This is for the game that gives for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Your nominees: Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Metaphor, Refantasio, and Neva. You know what, Rug, you start us
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. I said my own basically I have been like I've said it a few times along the way, but like I've been not trying to vote for things multiple times. So, that's a big basis for what I'm deciding some of these last categories. So for this one, I do think I think Metaphor or Elden Ring are probably likely getting the nods. But for me personally, just with what I have left and stuff, I'm going to vote for Elden Ring for this one. So best you know best medium to large DLC that's not a full game nomination. Yeah,
I see.
could also be a remake or a remaster if we had more of those. You know what I mean? So
Snorlax and Grooves.
Um, honestly, it's it's interesting to see an indie game on here up against these big top
yeah,
titles that are is in here. So shout outs to Neva for that. Third time on here, every time they were in the indie category, so it's really kind of cool to see that. With that being said, sorry, no. It really I'm torn because the art's so beautiful for Wukong and Elden Ring.
yeah,
It's really hard to say. Like Astrobot, I love it, but it is very colorful. It's more kid friendly. So it's whereas the details of Wukong and everything else were way more detailed. And same with Elden Ring. So honestly, I'm gonna stick with Wukong on this one. Although it won't surprise me if Elden Ring picks it up.
Okay. Most Windu.
So yeah, for me, I'm a huge Elden Ring fan. And I mean, yeah, by far the graphics look amazing on that. But I uh will have to I'll have to go with Black Myth Wukong.
Mm.
I mean, just the details and just the designs for each and every character that's in game, and I mean just the environment itself as well. I mean, I don't think nothing has beat it yet. So yeah, my pick is gonna be Black Myth Wukong.
JJK?
Very similar. I think it's definitely gonna be between Elden Ring and Black Myth, just because their playstyle is very similar. But I have to go with Wukong just because I remember the demo of that game and it was just like Wukong just in snow and people are like, oh my god, like look at the snow, like look at the way that this thing is like doing it in Unreal, and then just to build upon that and see how far it's gotten. And I'm sorry, like it Elden Ring is like, you know, this another like remake, whatever. So they don't really have much to build upon. They just can just copy and paste whatever the beginning was. So I would say Wukong for this one, personally.
You know what? I've got to pick a upset. I'm gonna pick a upset. I'm actually gonna go with Metaphor.
Pokemon.
I
Oh
knew
my
that was coming.
I'm going. I just, I own the game. I've enjoyed playing through it. I mean, I still got a ways to go. I'm still early in the game, but I
Mhm.
do love the art style, and especially considering, I'm a fan of the Persona games and
Mhm.
whatnot. It was kind of an easy but biased pick for me. So, yeah, Metaphor gets it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't blame you
god.
on that because the
Yeah,
metaphor is good looking. It deserves to
I
be
Yeah.
know. I know.
here.
Yeah,
It really
yeah.
does.
But it's just so
I
late in the year that it released. So I don't
yeah,
think a lot of
I'd be inclined
people.
to vote for it too. I mean, they always do the best like menus and UI
Mhm,
stuff. You know what I mean? And then they're also
mhm.
trying to do some interesting things with the cut scenes and stuff. And
Mhm.
so I mean, I can see them getting it too, just for what it's worth. Again, I just like, uh, you know, but I also agree. I do think Elden Ring or Black Myth is probably more likely to get the nod from the panel and whatnot. Also, do you guys know? I mean, is it a new thing with the actual like just people can just register to vote? Is that a new thing this year? You know what I mean? Where it's like just randos can, and what does that
Mhm.
count for? Is there just like, do they like compare what people picked versus what the panel picked and stuff? You know what I mean? I'm just curious.
I,
That's a good question because a lot of it does say on some of my earlier slides, vote here for this person or
Yeah,
vote for that.
yeah,
Right.
So I'm wondering if it's got a popular majority vote because there is a December 2nd category coming out that's player's choice as well. So I'm
right.
wondering if that's,
Yeah,
Oh.
because we'll have to revisit this when that comes out to see what that is.
yeah, yeah. Because
yeah,
But
that just takes that's just like does brackets. You know what I mean? Of like game of the year and just whittles it down, and then everybody just votes on that as it whittles down.
Right.
yeah. And that's a good point actually. I think, that could be more of like, a fan's choice type of battle
Yeah, yeah.
sort of
Because again,
thing.
because I'm not sure if you have to like be invited to sign in and vote. You know what I mean? Or anybody can just register, and then obviously we have not tried. But you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if you can just like you know. Whatever fertilegT@gmail.com, make an account and then can vote. You know what I mean? Or
that's Fertile Grooves, thank you.
Oh man.
Oh man. Uh
Oh, and
so
real question, did you say Pokemon or did you say Metaphor? I didn't hear which one you said.
no,
I'm a
I'm saying
I'm a
I think we should ask his
I'm a drop kick you, Mo.
I think we should ask his various community and followers and subscribers like, so do you think that the demon gathering mechanic is similar or the same as pocket monsters? And then everybody would be like, yes. And then he would get mad. They'd be like, I mean, no. Uh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
totally different or whatever, sir.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
so Mo, he voted for Metamon or Pokafor, whichever one
Pokemon.
you want to call it.
Oh, okay,
Okay, for.
okay.
But no, like Jason, like I can really see, like I can see why you would be biased on this. But again, Metaphor was really pretty. I
Yeah.
Yeah,
thought like when
Yeah.
I've seen it
I
be
definitely think that's a
seen,
good pick
it's
for this. Yeah,
really really pretty. But I mean, JJK, like hands down, that opening video for Wu, like
Oh
that
yeah.
that was
Oh
showcased
yeah,
for months for Wukong, got so many people riled up that you didn't even see combat. You saw
Yep.
walking of a character, and people were like, "Oh my god, that looks like Wukong!
yeah.
Oh, it is Wukong! Wow!" It was insane. So yeah,
Alrighty. Um, Next category, we're close to the finish line.
We are. We are.
Best narrative. This is for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Your nominees: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Metaphor Refantasio, Senua Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. I'll start us off. Now, I'm gonna do this as best as I can without spoiling anything.
Uh,
Um, Now, I mean, of course, the only game that I've gotten through all the way is, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But I gotta be honest. The story got weird with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
yeah.
Uh, Definitely some differences from the
Mm.
original for sure. Um, I'm sure each of these have a compelling story and something that really they bring something strong to the table. So honestly, I got a feeling they all, can really make an argument for themselves. The only thing I can say is, the biasness is kicking in, and it's the only game that I've beaten. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth gets my vote. Uh, JJK.
I'm actually gonna do a very unpopular one. I'm gonna say Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth
Okay.
because
Oh, okay.
just because like the narrative is so ridiculous and it's one of those things you have to like listen through all the way because I saw like a video on YouTube or something where it's like they press skip dialogue like multiple times and it goes from like a fighting scene to like they're in a spa like just bathing and it's like it just puts so much to like perspective like you need to listen to what's going on or you just gotta like go with all the ridiculousness of that the story and it just makes it more like evolved with like what's going on, what you're doing, what you're really like playing the game for, which is pretty fun and it just moves along the story.
I see. I see. Uh, Ruger, you're up.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's a good. So the way I describe it is like because Yakuza was always like that too. But it's like nuanced. You know what I mean? Because whether you're doing like a very small story snippet with minor characters, um, or whether you're doing something significant for the bigger arcs. But regardless, it's just so compelling with the Yakuza and Like a Dragon games, and they can really go as ridiculous as they want or go as like dramatic as they want, and it all just really works. And
Yeah.
I agree with that. It's definitely like it's like sweeping and epic, but in unexpected ways. You know what I mean as it goes. But and then I think it's worth noting here too. I think Hellblade 2, that's like, it's like the shortest game here. That's the most like dependent on its narrative type of thing.
Hmm.
I mean, and it's the closest to like a walking simulator. So I think there's a lot of merit for that for this category. Uh, but I'm personally just voting for Metaphor because I haven't voted for it yet for the other categories. So, and again, like, I think Metaphor could be a good one for a lot of these categories, but this is the one I'm going to vote for it for so they do it for art, and I'm sure this does have, I'm sure it does have very compelling narrative with all the links, social links and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So that's just
Mm.
my vote for like process elimination.
Snorlax.
So I I was kind of thought I was going to be alone on this one. I'm glad to hear I'm not. But Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth has just it's the story really does go all over the place.
Yeah, I think it
Like
deserves it personally,
it
but
really does, and I'm excited to see it on here. When I was going through the nominees and typing this all up and looking, I was like, man, of all the categories Like a Dragon's in, this would be the one that I would want to vote for it in. Um,
yeah,
it's an entry into that, after Yakuza that I kind of messed around with a bit. It drew me in. It's a lot. It's fun. It is zany. I think the whole skipping thing. I saw that as a similar video, JJK, where people were skipping dialogues, and it was just like the the heck did I just? It felt like it could have been somebody playing a game, and all like the whole. I went and stepped away for a game, and I came back, and I was in a hot tub, and don't know how I got here. Like it was funny. It was to me. All the other ones are a bit serious to frightening, and this one is the lighthearted one, and I think I'm hoping that's what wins it is the like a dragon. So
Okay. See. Most Windu.
Hey, so for me, I would choose Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like I said, I never played it, but playing the remake and going through the story, even though I know things were not the same as like the classic Final Fantasy VII, I mean, it kept me intrigued. So I can't imagine how Rebirth story will be, even though I know you said it's kind of weird now. So I'll have to put and find that out. But my pick is gonna be Metaphors since this is a brand new story and they're not going back to like what they normally were doing. And I mean, since it's brand new and it's gotten great reviews, I'm definitely going with that. So
I see. I see. Um, I believe that's everybody.
Hmm? Think so.
Alrighty. Next up, we have the category of Best Adaptation. This is for recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. Your nominees: Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon Yakuza, and Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft. Let's start with JJK.
Yeah, my head wants to say Tomb Raider, Laura Croft. But I feel like yes, Arcane did recently come out. I feel like a lot of love is gonna go towards that. But the Fallout series was so good and it made it believable. Like there it's so well done, and the art and the way that they just like make it feel like you're there, like actually in that universe. And they just did it so well, and it's like a live action like representation of the game. And I feel like that itself is harder to do. I mean, of course, like animation, all that Arcane that they did, it was fantastic, but just the way that the actors played and the whole like makeup artists and all that behind Fallout was just insane. So mine will be Fallout. War never changes.
Yeah, one never changes. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Snorlax.
so to where Arcane has, it's ended, it's done. And they've already announced they're going to be doing more additional series based on the different regions
Okay.
for League of Legends, which is exciting. It's really cool to see and everything else. Knuckles was a pretty good adaptation of the character. Like a Dragon Yakuza, I stopped watching. I didn't finish. I don't know if anybody did. I didn't hear that it got any better. So I'm gonna have to go with Fallout as well. I thought it was incredibly well done. It made me want to go back and play Fallout, which was enjoyable again. Um, and I really think they did a solid job with it, and the casting was well. So I'm gonna go with Fallout. I think Fallout's gonna win this one actually pretty darn easy.
Okay. Um, Most Windu.
I'm gonna go with Knuckles. Knuckles is my all-time favorite character in Sonic. Not saying nothing against Arcane or Fallout, but just gonna go with Knuckles.
Solid choice.
And I,
Like I said, it was a good representation of Knuckles.
yeah, for sure. So
Ruger, finish it off.
Yeah, and I mean, I honestly, I could see them. They might even. I could even see them giving it to Knuckles. Just I could just see the Game Awards doing that. You know what I mean? But I agree with you guys. Like, I realistically, uh, I think it should go to Fallout. I think it'll go to Fallout or Arcane. Those shows are just both so huge. But I agree with you guys for what it's worth. Fallout definitely actually did, jump out to me, bubble up to me, make me want to play the games again and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? And then, also too, it was good. Like Samsung and a couple other advertisers cut that good deal for Fallout 4 to where no matter what, even as they were rolling out the new Prime TV ads, there's just like a little bit of just like one little ad block at the beginning. So even if you didn't pay for ad free, you said a few ads at the beginning, and that was just awesome because I'm not gonna watch Like a Dragon Yakuza because they don't have that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just not going to watch what is the Cross. There's some good Amazon shows I'm just not gonna watch, or I will have to whatever pay $3 a month, $36 a year, or whatever. But just saying. But anyway, but Fallout was worth it. I'm glad they had that ad deal so I could
Mhm.
watch it with minimal ads, and it was awesome.
Did any of us watch Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft? I
No,
have.
I want to though. Yeah, I mean, because
I will at night.
it didn't get very good reviews, but the the fans seem to like it fine. You know what I mean? So I'll give it a chance. I'll watch it. Also, too, is worth mentioning too, like JJ said, Fallout is live action adaptation, not quite as good as live action Cowboy Bebop,
Oh
but
my
Oh,
God!
very
Don't
true.
even,
Very true.
man, get
but it
that
was
crap
Hands
out of
down.
it
here.
was a
Not
good live action
can't hold
adaptation.
a flame to that one. Yeah.
Get that crap out of here.
Just saying,
Um,
man.
uh, Chernobog says, but Lara Croft has boobies. That is my vote.
Yeah, I know, and
I
that's the
agree. I
thing.
agree.
Like, there has been. I have tried to weigh in with bulge. You know what I mean? Bulge.
I mean, just because Rug has a Lara Croft body pillow that rejects him does not mean he.
Saying. I mean, Lucy. I thought Lucy was attractive. Some
Oh
people
yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah.
She was very attractive. I thought Lucy was attractive. It's fine.
Um,
Uh,
so for me, Knuckles.
What?
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, it was kind of a easy pick for me. And we're the fighting freak Knuckles. We at Pumpkin Hill. You ready?
It was solid. And when we get Shadow voiced by Keanu Reeves next year on this nomination, that one's probably going to win hands down with no problems. But yeah, like I said, it really is the fact that you just have Knuckles on here was surprising to really jump out against complete shows.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, I think that's everybody. Two more categories, ladies and gentlemen.
Hmm.
Okay.
What in the world?
This is for Best Game Direction. This is awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
Mm.
Your nominees: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantasio. I'll go first. Um, this is tough. This one's actually pretty dang on tough.
It is.
I feel like each one of these can make a solid argument of why
Mhm.
they should win. Um, Black Myth, I mean, shoot, strong competitor. Uh, it is kind of interesting to see Astrobot in this particular category, but it's nice. It's nice to see it's in this category. Um, Metaphor as well. Uh, to, this one's tough. I mean, I'm gonna vote for Final Fantasy VII anyway, but this
Of
is
course.
tough.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but it's tough to pick the second place. You know what
Yeah,
I
I was
mean?
going to say it's hard for him to pick second
Yeah.
because first was like Final Fantasy and then a bunch of like backups.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Um, Snorlax, take it away.
So this is, I mean, agreed. I'm going to say this is a tough category. Shout outs to Balatro being a indie game making it on here and multi-time category. Astrobot went from being a free install game with kind of some fun elements on how to use the controller and the features of the system for PS4 to a flat out great adventure game with a story that was fun, engaging, and entertaining, which is why I thought it deserved to be on here and glad it is. Black Myth Wukong is incredible. The storyline, you look at the direction that it went in, the art direction, as well as just how they moved and flowed the story. Elden Ring's a freaking DLC. No, because you already had the base game, so moving forward. Seven is a daggum remake, so no, moving forward.
No,
Is I'm sorry, bud.
that that's technically not a remake.
Oh man.
What year? Let me look up what year Final Fantasy VII originally
Oh
came
my
out.
god.
So metaphor. I mean, really, to me, it's either Astrobot or Black Myth Wukong, and honestly, I'm really I'm taking a demo game, going to a full on game, and choosing Astrobot. Although
Okay.
it's really difficult to pick against Wukong.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Ruger.
No, yeah, this is where I vote for Astrobot. I just think that I think that the what I think Astrobot is so recognized for this year is like it's it's like the uh the old school spirit of video games and stuff like that, and just like and like the highest pedigree platformers and stuff. It's like the creativity from sequence to sequence, you know what I mean, and just like actually trying to do a lot of unconventional things, you know what I mean, and things that aren't done very often. And so it's just the that old school, 32-bit 64-bit spirit of creativity. I think that should get it here, whereas I know Balatro is also way out there compared to the rest of the games, but the rest are just like very well executed AAA games, which is a huge feat in its own right because that doesn't happen too much these days. But like I said, I think what Astrobot did uniquely shines the most here. So this is where I vote for it.
Okay. JJK.
I mean, the popular vote is gonna be Wukong,
Sure.
Elden Ring, and Final Fantasy. But me personally, I have to say Metaphor, Refantasio. It's pretty solid. I mean it's Sega, and they came out of this like out of the blue too, so it's just like uh solid game. Direction was great, storyline's good. Yeah, that's my vote.
Okay. Most Windu.
Even though I love Elden Ring, like I said before, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is fantastic. Um, I mean, I do like what Astrobot did with just adding like the old school, Uncharted and God of War and different things within the game. And they tried a lot of new things, and they made it work. But I probably will go with Metaphor. Like I said again, it's brand new. The storyline is brand new, characters and just the combat and everything like that. So they made it work, and I mean everything about it's been fantastic so far. I mean a lot of people love it, and I mean like I said, from what I've seen, people streaming of it. I mean I definitely want to try to play that sooner or later. So I'm gonna pick Metaphor.
I am honestly surprised. I really thought this would be a category that you leaned on Wukong for. That's wow, that was a
Yeah,
surprise.
I
Moted.
mean, and I mean the reason why is because I mean, not saying Black Myth Wukong is like the same game as everything else, but I mean it's pretty much the hack and slash. I mean, uh, metaphor. I mean, I don't know. It adds more. I mean, I guess it has more depth than I guess Black Myth. I feel. So.
I can see that.
Cool.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. The moment we've all been waiting for, the game of the year. recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. And the really ironic thing about this category is this has the exact same nominees as the previous category.
Virtual Fighter.
Yeah, what happened to the previous format of the slides? I thought that the
Yeah, where's Revo? I don't
Yeah.
see
So
Virtual Fighter.
so
What
so
changed?
initially we had said
Happened.
I didn't know if we were going to do game of the year first or if we were going to go backwards. So I was like, oh man, I can go get this fancy looking.
you're gonna get a fancy certificate.
Yeah, I got
Yes.
that too.
Oh
So
my goodness.
But yeah, but good call though, Jason. Yeah, again, it's just like yeah, I with the nominees and everything because I just remember it's like I remember way back in the day. It's like reading EGM back in the day, and Soul Calibur swept everything. So they were
mhm.
like the next year they're just like you know what, Game of the Year can only get Game of the Year. You know what I mean? And I like systems like that. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just curious if Game Awards would ever do
Hmm.
anything like that too. But we'll see. I mean, we could be so wrong, and
Oh
very
yeah.
different stuff sweeps all the categories, but all good. Still fun.
So, just to reiterate, nominees for Game of the Year: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantazio. And we are gonna start this. We're gonna go from bottom to top. Most Windu, start us
Damn.
off.
Here we go, Virtual Fighter 6. Let's
Oh,
Yeah, oh
go.
yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
Voting for that too.
hit you with
Just
this
saying.
Oh yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
bottle.
Um.
Easy.
Yeah. As much as I love Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree. I mean, in Elden Ring period. I mean, just seeing how much time they put into the expansion and how wide and expansive. I mean, yeah, how wide and expansive the map is. I mean, it's unheard of. I mean, even though I'm really happy about that, I still don't understand how a DLC can be included for Game of the Year. But um, but I mean, by far that's I mean, it's an awesome game. Rebirth, I can't really give too much uh feedback on that. I mean, remake was awesome, so I'm quite sure Rebirth is even better than that. Um, I think the two I'd probably go with is either Black Myth Wukong or Metaphor will probably be the Game of the Year selection. So,
JJK, you're up.
Yeah. This is pretty crazy. Like pretty hard.
It is.
Uh,
No, it is.
It is.
but I wish I played Astrobot so I can have more opinion
yeah.
about it. And also Balatro, I wish I had more opinion about that. But I'm gonna say it back to back. Elden Ring, let's go.
All
Oh,
right.
Let's go. Number two.
Yeah.
oh.
Best DLC remake.
Best
You know what I'm
DLC remake.
So,
It has to win. It made it the second one, so hey.
Oh man. All right, Ruger, what you got?
No, yeah, I'm really interested to see what will actually be picked for this. You know what I mean? And and again, I would like it if they broke down like, we have this panel and we have, and we have the website voters and I'm just curious, you know what I mean? Because I really am interested if there's gonna be any like reasoning or justification for whatever wins here. But for me personally, again, I just by process of elimination, it's like this is where I had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and out of all these games, again, I haven't played much of these at all, but uh, when all the dust settles, I think that's the one that will I'll think, is the most well rounded, I guess is probably the best way to say it. You know what I mean? Because it's
Mhm.
like, it's epic and it's actiony, but it also has the leveling up, so it seems to have everything. You actually like no spoilers, but apparently there's also like, you can like do some whatever visual novel dating interactions with Tifa. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care
Oh
about
my
the other one, but I know you can like and isn't there like, a bikini sequence? So I mean
God.
it's all
Oh
adding up. You know what
my
I'm saying?
I'm
God.
downloading it right now.
I know. I'll be right back.
Oh my god.
But no, this is what seriously I do think Final Fantasy VII is the most well-rounded in terms of like having every most everything that I would want out of a game and stuff like that. Considering I also don't really look for multiplayer stuff in games. You know what I mean? So uh, Final Fantasy is what I would personally voting for. I can see them giving it to any of these, and so I am curious to see where it'll land.
Okay. All right, Snorlax and Grooves.
All right, this was definitely. I love this as a beautiful list of games.
Yeah.
As much as I pick on remakes and DLCs and everything else, Elden Ring was a previous game of the year. I really, as much as I don't want to give it to that, I could see where it would go there. I would like rather they have waited for Final Fantasy VII to be a complete game with all the parts out, beginning to end with an ending, and then put it all up as just a, hey, this is the game of the year because it's all of them. Um, Metaphor being up here speaks to how solid of an experience, and Atlas coming out hard with that. Uh, but I've been down and really debated on two games up here very hard, and that's Astrobot and Black Myth Wukong. Um, Astrobot's appeal to all ages with its fun factor. The problem is it's a solo platform with most of its nostalgia coming through all of just the history of PlayStation and its games. I mean, you had characters that you would unlock that were from like Jumping Flash, from Suikoden, from a bit of everything. So it just hit you in those heartstrings of nostalgia of like, man, I love all these little characters. It's great to see them. And then playing the mini games that you could and everything else was fun. But I honestly believe that Black Myth Wukong is going to win Game of the Year this
Okay.
year. I think the story, the direction, the art, the fact that it's an original title, um, I really think it's going to win. But I mean, again, Balatro, mobile title, indie game, indie
Yeah.
debut. Holy cow. I mean, that's amazing to be in the your first year, your first, your indie debut, and boom, you're in category for game of the year. So that speaks volumes for it. But yeah, I really think it's going to come. I think it's going to be Wukong's is going to win it this year. So now, Blitz, I'm curious to see what you say.
Okay. Game of the year, the top award. Um, to be honest with you, I don't think Elden Ring should win this.
Hmm.
In all honesty, um, I'm very curious to see if Balatro has enough firepower to take this category. But it definitely speaks volumes that it's a nominee for this category.
Mhm.
Um, Astrobot really came out guns blazing and making that big of an impact where it's got multiple nominations, including Game of the Year. Um, Black Myth Wukong, I mean, it speaks for itself. Definitely belongs in this category. Um, Metaphor, Final Fantasy have both been given multiple nominations as well. Um, to be honest, if I had to narrow it down to three, if I had to cut this list down to three, Black Myth Wukong, Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth. If I had to cut it down to three, um, Metaphor, I don't know if it has enough firepower to take Game of the Year. I think it will take an award home.
Yeah.
Just I don't think it'll be Game of the Year. If it does, I'll be very shocked and intrigued. But in all honesty, I think it's going to be Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I mean, you already know what my vote is. It's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Astrobot, way to go. Oh,
Oh man,
Wow. But
Pokemon.
if you don't, mm,
Yeah, Final
um,
Fantasy VII Revo.
I- man, all of y'all suck.
Just
we do.
saying.
But
But wouldn't it be crazy if Elden Ring DLC wins it? I mean,
I know. I
wonder
could
if
see it though. I could see it. I could see them.
man,
I
You
could see
have
them
to
giving it to Astro
realize
Boy. I could see them even giving it to Balatro. Just you know what I mean. Like they're a wild card when it comes to this stuff. You know what I mean. So
they
because
may
wouldn't this be the first time that DLC expansion has been nominated for Game of the Year and an indie game?
that's the whole reason they included that rule this year to
yeah,
allow
yeah.
DLCs was because of Elden Ring.
That's insane.
To
It
back,
is.
back to
It is.
back.
Now, if this was Elden Ring 2, Shadow of the Earth, I'd be like, oh, well, there's your game of the year right there, no problems. But it's the fact that it's a DLC is the crazy part.
yep, very crazy.
And,
And we
But
have a couple of bonus slides that I went and procured as well, just for
Yeah, go
fun.
for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
This is your most nominated games.
Mhm.
Astrobot had, and Final Fantasy VII were your tops at 7 nominations.
Mm,
Metaphor had 6. You're looking at an indie game with 5 against
Yeah.
It's
major
Yeah.
contenders.
crazy.
That is
yeah,
crazy.
that's
Yeah.
huge.
So, again, another remake, get with 5. And then you have, Elden Ring, Elden Tree, Black Myth Wukong, with 4. And then, Hellblade 2, like you said, it's a shorter game. It was very psychological. It was interesting. It had 4. So it's really cool to see, the diversity of all the games that are on here. But the fact that Astrobot just 7 nominations
yeah.
Yeah.
for a solo platformed title that's just the history of that console for fun was fun. I love seeing that.
I
And
think.
then go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say. I think that's another thing. It just goes to show the fact that it's been given 7 nominations, like,
Mhm.
says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Um. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
most nominated publishers sitting on top. PlayStation with 7 of those being Astrobot.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Wow. Square Enix has 12.
Mhm.
Square Enix
With 7
Xbox.
of those being Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yep.
Surprised
Uh.
Sega's not number one with the Revo announcement.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Sega
Seg.
will. Yeah. Sega will have the most next year. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my God. Man, it's kind of interesting. Nintendo only having 6. Do y'all feel like that's kind of low for them?
Well, but that's the thing. Like politically, they actually don't engage in this. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like Jeff would like to do more with Nintendo. They're just like we don't. You know,
Yeah.
we don't need your fake award show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
They
Paper
don't need anybody's
Mario
award
should have been
show.
in there
They don't need
too.
anybody's. They don't need anybody's anything. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think if they were, I think, also too, it's like the Game Awards have always been like the that older, more mature audience, and stuff like that. So
Well, I mean, if you put remakes or redos on here, like I really don't understand why Super Mario RPG did not get a nod at all.
yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was
Interesting.
Yeah,
earlier
like I said,
this
I do
year.
think a lot of that politically is just like Sony likes Jeff and the Game Awards and all that
Mhm.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Sony and Microsoft both really like it because I guess they're able to reach their target better. But Nintendo's just like, you're cute, but we don't need anybody anymore. You know?
And they're
Yeah.
considered the family-friendly fun console. And what did they get nominated for? Mario Jamboree,
Yeah, yeah,
Legend of
Yep.
Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, both of which were aimed at more, lighter of the profile of the categories and everything else. It wasn't something that was like most graphic violence. Oh well, that's not going to be on there.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh my
But
God.
it's
Yeah.
it's really cool to see stuff of this nature. Like I absolutely love this, but just this is just absolutely like I'm excited to see how many of these 7, if Astrobot ends up with any,
I
can
know.
actually
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious too, because again, like I went out of my way to not vote for anything multiple times, but I'm just curious if we're gonna see some sweeps and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, for final question, I think this is a good one to end the night on. So we all know that the Game Awards not only does an award ceremony, but they also do reveal, trailers for upcoming games
Mm-hmm.
as well as
Yeah.
brand new announcements as well. So I want to take the time to go ask each one of y'all. Um, Snorlax, we're going to start with you. What
Mm.
what announcements, new games would you like to see revealed at the Game Awards?
That is a tough one. Honestly, I would love for a bit more gameplay of Ghosts of Yotai to be shown. After it wins most anticipated title. Um, honestly, seeing a trailer or an announced date for Grand Theft Auto 6 would
Yeah.
probably be something I could see
Yeah.
them doing at this age at this show because I think it'll really pop up and it would generate a lot of buzz. Um, you're going to the end of the year, like you said before. Nintendo's not a big deal, so no announcements to Switch 2,
Correct.
unless they were like to throw a curveball of like we're still in the show, Switch 2 is this month, yay! Then it's like holy crap. Um, but honestly, it's really hard to say because you're at the end of the year. You got some bangers coming out next year, a bunch of good solid remakes. Because you've got the Suikoden franchise, you've got the Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest, whatever line you want to call it. It's got the 2D and number one remake coming out to go on par. So you've got a lot of stuff. I could see maybe a new Persona because of
Mm.
Metaphor's success would be, it's about time for that would be kind of cool to see, but it's really hard to say. Maybe oh, Tekken 8's final DLC character for the year. There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. JJK.
I will have to say the biggest thing that everyone's anticipating probably because any sort of GTA 6
Yeah.
gameplay, any kind of story, any kind of like just premise of what it's going to be, just any kind of reveal on that one. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of just like demos of like new ways of improving or enhancing performance on video games, probably like a couple of demos here and there by certain different game engines. um Maybe um possibly Elden Ring another sequel gets released, I don't know, back to back to back back. But yeah, I think the biggest one will be GTA 6. That's the biggest anticipation that everyone's waiting for. And hopefully they do release it because this is a huge event that everyone has eyes on. And it'll be a good way to release or just to announce that they are developing it.
Okay. Most Windu.
Man, Virtual Fighter 6 trailer.
Oh man.
It's gonna be bigger than Grand Theft Auto 6. Man. No, but yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6. It'll be nice to get some more like um info from that. Maybe even a gameplay trailer or something like that. I can see that. I'm hoping for. I will say Virtual Fighter 6. I'm hoping to hear something on that. Um, Final Fantasy Tactics. I think it's been
Mm.
long overdue, and I would like to hear something because I know some of the creators have been saying that they would like to bring it to next gen consoles or whatever. So we'll see with that. Uh, Xenogears and Legend of Dragoon. I would like to hear something about a remake or something along those lines. Uh, a new Elden Ring, like JJK said. Um, and hmm, yeah, I guess that's about it. Oh, and then the new Pokemon game, Pokemon Cross Persona. There
No,
you go.
no. Screw that. What the heck? Ruger, you're up.
No, I mean I don't know if they'll do a new GTA trailer. I agree. I mean that would be it'd be good for them to do that. You know what I mean? But the game delayed till later next. No, they into 2026 actually. Yes, I don't think they need to do one. I agree that would be super anticipated. It would build up the hype even more if they do. I don't know. I just don't know if they will. I'd like to see it too. But um, I would like to see like even if it is just like an announcement and a logo. It'd be good to see like what Naughty Dog is doing on the PlayStation
Oh
side.
yeah,
Um,
that's right.
and then on the Microsoft side, I would like to see more about the new Gears game and more about Perfect Dark. You know what I mean? I'd like to see more on those too. Uh, Ubisoft, I don't know what's going on with it, but I think they no, I think they're moving forward with the Splinter Cell movie, but the game reboot is still up in the air. I think, but I'd
I,
like to see
I think
what the
it
rest of
got I think it got scrapped.
did it get just grabbed? Yeah, but I think they're moving forward with the movie. Is that
Y-
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Anyway,
the game they got scrapped.
but anyway, I just want to see what's next for the like I said, Naughty Dog, and then the and see what's going on with some with whatever Coalition, and then the the Perfect Dark. Who was I forgot who's taking that over. I think Crystal Dynamics took that over, but they're doing it for Microsoft. But anyway, just some of that stuff that's lost out there. But what do you got, Jason? What are you looking for?
So, a couple of things. I'm with Mo on Final Fantasy Tactics, like being brought to modern consoles. Like I would be all over that, and if they did a collector's edition of that, I would pay full
Okay,
price for it. Um,
20 bucks.
would like to, hear some more DLC information like Street Fighter 6, King of Fighters, because they still got some
Yeah,
DLC on the way for
yeah,
that.
that's great. Yeah.
Um, I'm hoping for another character announcement trailer for City of the Wolves, and hopefully it's Gato or Kim Jae Hoon.
Butts.
I'll take one or both. Um, I think we're gonna get a presence from Capcom. I'm thinking new Resident Evil game,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
I'm still waiting patiently. Oh, maybe an update on Rival Schools collection because I know that was
Yeah.
mentioned. I would love for them to finally give what I've been looking for quite a while, and that's that new Darkstalkers game. But
I don't know. They said though, it's like somebody recently left Capcom and actually said that like, yeah, we were working on it and then scrapped it, and then everybody was like sad. But apparently, it's
bummer.
like it was actually confirmed that like whatever they were working on was being worked on and was scrapped. So I just don't know. Like,
hmm
yeah,
Um, I'm sure it's probably too early to consider an announced trailer for the third part of the Final Fantasy VII remake series. I think it's too early.
yeah.
Um, I do definitely think a new Resident Evil, not like a remake or no. I think there's going to be a new Resident Evil. Um, what I think might be the biggest shocker, and I've heard rumors that this might become a thing, but I think we're going to see the announcement of Halo coming to PlayStation.
Oh, I can
Yeah,
see
I heard
that.
about that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see
because
that.
Yeah.
Microsoft was up in arms. A lot of Microsoft fanboys were really not happy about
No, I
things.
can see that. Yeah, because they did the trailer a month or two ago about just moving to UE5, and then
Mm.
That right
Phil,
there.
Phil and the leadership are just like they're very carefully saying that they're very carefully saying it, but nothing's off limits. So yeah, I think it's yeah, I definitely think it's I can see that happening.
Yeah. So,
See that happening.
hopefully, and then, maybe some more information on Assassin's Creed Shadows, because, I still plan on getting that. I mean, I have it pre-ordered. Um, yeah, that's just a general idea. Chernobog says, I want Camelot Unchained.
Hmm.
Interesting. Um, but yeah, aside from that, I'm just really keeping an open mind about it because, in the past there's been all sorts of Oh, Ghost of Yote. Hopefully, some more info on that. Shout out to Erika Ishii, who's the voice actress of the female samurai. So, got to give her props. But for the most part, just keep an open mind.
So do
But
you think we will, or is it too early for the Capcom vs. SNK3 announcement? I mean, I
I
would love
hope
that,
not.
but
I
No, I mean,
mean,
yeah, I think they're gonna, I, I think they're gonna wait until after they see how well City of the Wolves does. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, regardless of if they're already knee deep in it and greenlit or not, I think they're gonna wait until see how that does first before like making any announcements and stuff. Uh, but
yeah,
if
I'd
it's
rather
close
see
after,
that.
you know, it's all doing well. If it's like close after, you know, it's all doing well. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah,
I'd rather see that announcement for a Capcom SNK3 at a show that's going to give it the justice and the screaming hype fans, like
or like
a
Evo.
fighting tournament, an Evo or something.
yeah,
Game
yeah,
Awards, the people are going to be like, "Woo!" and it's like, well, we judge by that reaction. We're going to scrap it. Like, I
yeah,
don't want. I want it to be where it's focused. So
yeah.
that's my only fear.
That's a good point. And
those are
Chernobog says, Camelot Unchained. It is the next release by the original creators of Dark Age of Camelot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. People have been, yeah. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew where he was coming from on that one. Yeah, since we both
I
played the
see.
AOC.
And
Or
I
Randall.
know, and I know with City of the Wolves, we're not going to get that until April,
Next
but
year.
I'm
Yeah,
very, very hyped for that.
Yep.
Like I said, as soon as they announce Gato, oh, I'm ready.
I
But
get my Bogard. That's all I care about.
you'll
oh,
get your Bogard.
Oh yeah,
you know
that's why
what?
I said that's all I care about. I
Um,
got my Bogards in there. I'm good to go.
I know for the longest they've been teasing about Metal Gear Solid One being like getting remade. I would like
Oh
to
yeah.
see something about that because I don't know if they were saying Blueprint was supposed to take over that or
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like I want to see what Blueprint's working on as well for Sony.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
Well, and I
But
know just for those who are watching as well, I know Jason, this will be one of the things, but I definitely looking forward to the show on the 12th where we do a live reaction to the winners.
yes.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping we all can regroup for that and discuss, but I'll definitely be on live for that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But I did have another thing I wanted to throw out. IGN is doing a top 100 PlayStation titles through across all five, the systems, and
Wow.
they've got their first handful out. I would love to discuss what they're doing it every Friday. They're doing a handful more, so they started off. So if you haven't seen it, read them. We can. I think that'll be fun to discuss and just make fun of incredibly gripping
The
news.
the person that wrote it didn't was not alive during PlayStation 1. So,
Probably not.
I'm just saying. And so,
Wow.
Again.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
gonna be like, yeah, for this, I actually had to figure out how to put a disc into a machine for this article.
I mean,
wow.
I didn't know that they considered it was part of the Super Nintendo's franchise. Huh? Who knew?
Goodness gracious. Uh Folks, I want to thank my panel of guests, Snorlax and Grooves, JJK, Most Windu, Ruger,
Yeah.
for joining me for this preview of the 2024 Game Awards nominees. This was a lot of fun. Thank
Yeah.
y'all so much
Yeah.
for taking some time out of your busy schedules to do this live stream. I know, we've had to reschedule a couple of times, but we stayed the course, and
Yeah, it was definitely fun. Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
getting us
thanks.
together and having us. Yeah, it was good.
but
Yeah, thank you for hosting.
hopefully this won't be the last.
Yeah.
No.
Let me know.
So
Yeah.
so but yeah, and as Snorlax and Groove said, December 12th is the um award ceremony for the 2024 Game Awards. Like I said, you can expect uh them to go through the winners, but also expect some fancy announcements as well. And they're probably going to do some performances as well. They typically do some performances. But yeah, December 12th, that is a Thursday evening. So looking forward to doing the live stream for that. Should be a lot of fun. But thank y'all so much for watching. This has been Blitzball Champ Gaming. I am your host, your MC, your leader, the great Blitzball Champ, the one and only Blitzball Champ, Jason Ingram. We will see y'all at the next video and or live stream. Thank y'all so much. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.